We've got some positive Jets injury news. We'll get to that on the show. Jamien Sherwood labeled the Jets' biggest disappointment through the first 3 weeks of the season. Can he turn it around? Plus, a special guest joins us and we talk quarterback. All that and more. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gas-darned bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast if you prefer the audio-only version. Guys, make this a part of your routine. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video and hit subscribe as soon as you step in and show your support. We're over 8,050 subscribers so far, so appreciate you guys. And, it's a Friday, which means I will not be doing this show solo. We have the great, and last week was awesome with Gary Myers, but the guy that keeps coming back every single week is a legend himself, Bob Lederer, who joins us, a author extraordinaire, a man of many talents. And one of those talents will be shown on today's show, I'm sure. Bob Lederer here on the program. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. I really dislike when the Jets have to play a late Sunday game. I dislike it even more. I hate it when they have to wait till Monday night to watch the game.
Yeah.
And Thursday, don't even get me started about Thursday.
Which we'll have one of those later this season.
Yep.
So that will be, Bob, for us, that'll be basically a post-game show for us the next day, because we'll have Jets-Patriots late in the season. That one will be in Foxborough for Thursday Night Football, and then we'll come the next day and recap whatever the hell happens during that contest. So the Jets only have 2 primetime games this year. It's a Monday Night Football game that's coming up, obviously, here in Week 4, and then the Jets-Patriots rivalry game that's coming up later in the year. Those are the only 2 primetime games on the schedule for the NYJ.
Well, okay. Well, let's get to it, because I know you want to talk about a certain Jets linebacker who is about the only one who is not on the walking wounded list.
Yeah, that's true. So on the silver lining side, wow, I'm glad that we still have any linebackers that are still alive after the first 3 weeks of the season. That's encouraging in some form or fashion. However, he's played perhaps the worst among any of them, so that's that part is disappointing. Zach Rosenblatt, we have an article in the YouTube description down below, straight from Zach, and he labeled Jamien Sherwood, who just signed a $45 million deal this offseason to become a top 5 highest-paid linebacker in football, as arguably the Jets' biggest disappointment through the first 3 weeks of the season. And now that light shines even brighter, because earlier this week, the Jets placed Quincy Williams, a former All-Pro linebacker, on injured reserve. Marcelino McCurry-Ball on injured reserve. So linebackers 2 and 3 on the depth chart are now out for at least a month, which shines a light on Jamien, who's going to be playing with new guys. Francisco Mauigoa is expected to step up. That's a rookie out of Miami. They have Cam Jones, who they claimed off of waivers from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to be in that conversation. They just signed some random guy named Mark Robinson off the Patriots practice squad. So a lot of new names, and it'll be up to Jamien to not only get those guys lined up, but himself lined up, because he has struggled throughout this season. So I'm hoping, I will say this, the thing that is good to know is that if Jamien ever has problems, you know that he is a hard worker and he's going to do everything in his power to fix issues. So work ethic and things of that nature are not a problem for Jamien, but I don't think Jet fans care about that right now. They care about the result. The Jets are 0-3, and one of their best players, in theory, has been playing very poorly.
Well, Jamien Sherwood is a player who got his opportunity and made the best of it by sheer effort and smarts, and allowing himself to be coached properly, and to make adjustments in the way he plays. So I'm still hoping that despite his problem in adjusting to the new defensive system, that he's going to turn that around, because he is making a lot of money. But I don't think in my mind that the money is the issue. The money is, okay, how do we get this guy on track so he can be the tackling machine that he's been in the last couple of years?
Yeah, we need everyone to get aligned. Aaron Glenn, who's supposed to be the overall CEO, Steve Wilkes specifically, who's had a variety of issues. Just fundamentally, the Jets have been missing tackles left and right so far this season. They've been out of position. They're blitzing, which we expected, but they seem to be blitzing, and teams are handling their blitz as well. So the blitzing isn't coming at the right time to maximize, like the Buccaneers were taking advantage of on the New York Jets. So Steve Wilkes has to recalibrate. I don't mind being aggressive with the Saleh era. We never blitz. So blitzing more in this era, I'm all for, but he just has to calibrate it better where we're getting bang for our buck on these blitzes, because what's happening is the other teams are handling it quite well, and then they're taking advantage of the fewer defenders they're now seeing when they're passing the football. So that's part of it I definitely want to see improve. And obviously a big piece of that puzzle obviously is going to be here with Jamien Sherwood. And I think in the simplest form, I think we need our playmakers to make plays. Our best players need to play like our best players. Jamien Sherwood has to play better. Sauce Gardner has not been Sauce Gardner throughout this entire season. He looked pretty good in week 1 against DK Metcalf, but outside of that, he has been hit and miss. Michael Carter II, one of the highest paid nickel defenders in the league. He has struggled mightily this season. It's been stunning, quite frankly. Now, Quinnen's played really well, so salute to Quinnen. Will McDonald has made some flash plays, so shout out to him. Jermaine Johnson's unavailable, another biggie. And now Aaron Glenn upgraded in a bad way his injury status, saying now he's week to week. So now we're like, oh boy, when are we going to see Jermaine Johnson next? It seems unlikely this week for Monday Night Football. And that's another Debbie Downer. So, yeah, the team, and we already mentioned Quincy Williams and Marcelino, obviously, they're going to be out for a month. So, just some of the Jets' best players have not played up to snuff, and now we have all these issues. It's just, it's all falling on top of itself.
Well, dealing directly with the blitzing issue, there's two things that strike me. First of all, the element of surprise is very key.
Yeah.
Because if it's obvious to the quarterback that a blitz is coming and they can see where it's coming from, they can obviously make adjustments at the line and get the extra blocker to be paying attention. But the second part of it is execution. You have to really execute it well, even if you do surprise, so that you get to the quarterback, or at least pressure him enough that he gets rid of the ball before he wants to. And that execution is even tougher when you're using second stringers, because they're second stringers for a reason. They don't have the physical capability, or maybe even the mental smarts, to be able to execute as well as the guys who play ahead of them. So that's just another element. So you have to wonder how much he's going to try to use a blitz against Tua. It could be quite a bit. And we all know how frail Tua is, and how the next hit could be the last play he plays in the NFL.
And if that were to be true, another revenge game potentially. Zach Wilson is waiting in the wings there behind Tua. But find your stick, folks, wherever. Let's get some participation from the audience to start the show. Find a stick, pick it up, and now go to whatever dirt or beach you can pick in a very short amount of time.
When no one is there.
Yeah, when no one's there. And I want you to draw a line, because that's what's going to happen against Jets-Dolphins. Because not only is the Jets defense awful, the Dolphins defense is awful. So slam the over. I'm not normally your gambling advice guy, but maybe that'll change here in the future. I'm always willing for sponsors to bend the knee. But slam the over, and who scores the most points may end up winning this game. The Dolphins defense has been terrible. The Jets defense has been terrible. And here's the stat from Rich Samini. Shout out to Rich. We'll have him on the show eventually here. Have him back on the show, excuse me. I heard the stat right before we started the show from his podcast. And this is quite a stat. So shout out to the Flight Deck podcast. The Jets and Dolphins are only the 9th and 10th teams since 1933 to start 0-3 and have no takeaways on defense. The reason Rich said 1933 is because that is the first year that turnovers became an official stat. So for only the 9th and 10th time in nearly 100 years, the Jets and Dolphins have been so dysfunctional that they haven't won any games, and neither has even created a takeaway on defense. I mean, inevitably, an oblong-shaped football has to bounce in a different direction here, and will likely go in the hands of the Jets or Dolphins. And it is weird that the block kick doesn't really count as a turnover because obviously that was a crazy play. So maybe that should count. But nonetheless, I mean, this Jets defense has just not found an ability to catch a pass that's in their hands for an interception. And then the fumbles that have happened through the first couple of weeks and they just can't fall on top of one has been sort of bizarre too.
And as you guys have talked about earlier in the week, the weather Monday night is supposed to be iffy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it rains in Miami every late afternoon.
Sure.
That's just part of, the atmosphere, the environment there. But if those two storms that are coming up the Gulf get anywhere near and cause, heavy rains or such, well, it's going to make the 1983 AFL championship game very reminiscent.
That's true. The old Mud Bowl there.
And that was a mess. And that obviously it doesn't help your passing game.
Mm-hmm.
It can help your running game, except it also can cause a lot of fumbles. So, who knows what's going to happen.
That's fair. By the way, everybody, here's some encouraging news, right? Yesterday we do the Boy Green Daily. We hear negative news on Justin Fields. Oh boy, could miss another game. Dan Graziano says, well, a matter of hours can change a perspective. Aaron Glenn said that Justin Fields returned to practice yesterday. He was a full participant, which is very encouraging news. And NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport says he is nearing the end of concussion protocol. So everything is in line for Justin Fields to return to the field. The schedule's sort of off because the Jets are playing on Monday Night Football, so everything is delayed a day. So we won't hear from Aaron Glenn, not today as we normally would on a Friday. Instead, we'll hear from him on Saturday. But full expectation is Justin Fields to be activated, and thank the great Lord above because Tyrod and all those turnovers were disgusting. So I'd really like for the Jets to put the proper quarterback in, and let's hope that the Jets can take advantage of the Dolphins defense, which specifically
but at the same time, Paul, no practice for the last 2 weeks because you're in concussion protocol.
Sure.
Get pretty stale, and he didn't have a lot of work during the preseason. In fact, he got almost no work.
Yeah,
and he hasn't really been able to get on the field and play with his teammates and his receivers and get the timing back down. So even if the weather conditions are good on Monday night, he could be very much out of sorts from just not having had a chance to practice.
Well, let's get into it here, Bob, because I referenced an Athletic article earlier today from Zach Rosenblatt, and thank you, Zach Rosenblatt, very much. And you referenced to me before the show, you said, hey, man, this is something I'd like to dabble into. Zach Kiefer of The Athletic, his title, The Bust Files, How NFL Teams Break Young Quarterbacks. What a very vivid headline that is for The Athletic. And it talks about all kinds of development and the development issues that happen with quarterbacks in the National Football League. So, Bob, I will toss this over to you. Walk us through this.
Well, let me give you the bottom line first.
Sure. Yeah.
This is a very lengthy article, and most people, myself included, usually don't have a lot of patience to go through a lengthy article. I saw it first in the New York Times print edition, which I get delivered here. And it ran a full page and a half.
Wow.
In fact, it's 2 full pages. They put a big picture to eat up a lot of the space, but it still was 2 full pages. And I usually don't have a lot of patience for those stories because unless it's about a New York team, and this is not specifically about a New York team, I go, why am I reading the New York Times? Why am I reading an article about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing the Miami Dolphins? Well, who cares?
Yeah.
But anyway, this article got me, and it got me because, and here's the bottom line, it quotes a huge number of people, of luminaries in the National Football League. And 2 of them that it quotes extensively are Peyton Manning and the former quarterback.
Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman from the Dallas Cowboys. And they both say in the article that the situation and the conditions that exist today in the NFL for a young quarterback coming out of college are so heavy that they both believe that they would have failed if they had been drafted in these days and times. Now, why is that? There are probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 different reasons. where they say the situation is way worse than it's ever been before for a young kid, even a number one draft pick in the first pick of the draft for a can't miss quarterback, let's say like Andrew Luck, who's also quoted in the story. And Aikman and Manning and Luck all say that in their rookie year, they felt so bad about their play. And Luck won 11 games with the Colts his first year. But
much more success than Peyton or Troy in their first years, respectively.
But they all three said they felt like they were playing on quicksand, that they had no confidence, that they didn't really think they were functioning properly and doing what they could do. And so let's go over just a handful of the reasons why these things are said to be going on. Well, number one is the pressure on them to begin with.
Of course.
Another part of it is the pressure that even grows greater when they don't step up immediately and become a great quarterback, or at least a quarterback that is succeeding. And part of what is explained here is the coaching. What tends to happen is, first of all, you have an owner who looks at this number one quarterback that they've just drafted, whether it's the first pick of the draft or not, but a guy who's drafted very high. This guy is going to be our marketing ticket. This is the guy we're going to put all our hopes behind and who we are going to hype, to the highest peak that we can. Secondly, do you have the right coach in place? Third, do you have the right offensive coordinator and quarterback coach in place? And after that, can you resist the temptation, if you're the coach, the owner, and the offensive staff, to not freak out when the kid doesn't automatically shine? Because always what happens, is they change the offensive coordinator. That makes it incredibly difficult for the quarterback, the young quarterback, to shine, because he was struggling enough with the first system you gave him. Now he has to learn a brand new system. And on top of that, there are many instances, and a lot of our viewers will know this from watching other quarterbacks. In fact, even watching those the Jets have drafted, they'll have a third system in the first 2 or 3 years. So each time they have to go through this change, it becomes more and more difficult for them to succeed because their brain just can't deal with all of this. One of the other players that's heavily quoted in this story is Alex Smith. And Alex Smith was a quarterback out of Utah that was drafted by the 49ers. And he did not succeed very well with the 49ers. And he says one of the reasons is a big part of his game in college was his ability to run. Now, who is that reminiscent of? But the 49ers told him, you're not running. We don't want you to run at all because we don't want you to get hurt. And so that completely threw off a key part of his offensive game, which is one of the reasons that I think that Glenn has done what he has done with Fields, is not taken away probably one or two greatest strengths he has, his throwing arm and his ability to run and evade tackling and such. So he really struggled with San Francisco. He went to Kansas City, and Kansas City was a different kind of situation for him, because as he describes it, the Chiefs coach. Now, who's the Chiefs coach?
Andy Reid.
Yeah, Andy Reid. He gave him great credit and said Andy Reid was not just a system guy who had his own system. He was a guy who was very flexible, and he tried to create a system that was built around the strengths of the quarterback and what he could do. And again, kudos to Aaron Glenn, because that's been made very apparent by him that that's what he's going to do, and that he's built an offense around what Fields can really do. So he's given him that capability. So the story goes into much more detail, and I've asked you to post it underneath.
Yes, we just posted it so people can see it in the comment section. So feel free.
And so I encourage everybody. Well, maybe you don't want to read it right now. It is pretty lengthy, but you might want to skim it. But if you don't, take a look at it after the show today and spend the time that you've got to really absorb this thing because it's eye-opening. And what it really tells me, and I said this to Paul before we went on the air, this story convinces me that even if we decide that Fields is not the guy, there is absolutely no real optimistic reason for anyone to think that even if we got the first draft pick in the 2026 draft, and he's a terrific quarterback, a can't miss quarterback. How often do we hear that designation?
Oh yeah.
That kid is going to succeed because you got to have the right support. You have to have the right coaching staff. You have to have the stick-to-itiveness to not only create an offense around him, but stick with it through the good and the bad, and let him really get comfortable so that he can really make a difference. Now, clearly, when you look at Aikman and you look at Manning, it took Manning into his second year, although I think he started to really produce late in his first year. And Aikman also, did better because basically they had the kind of support mechanisms in the coaching staff and everything else that make them work. Here's another great anecdote here. One of the quarterbacks, and I forget who it was, said, I think it was Andrew Luck. Okay. Andrew Luck was told, when practice is over, you go to the locker room. And Andrew Luck told his wide receivers after practice, stay here. We have work to do. And the Colts were not mad about it, but they were caught completely by surprise because that was just not the Colts' way of doing things. But like a lot of great quarterbacks over the years, they realized, hey, I got to work on some stuff, and I've got to build a better continuity between myself and my wide receivers. And that takes me back again to my book and what Namath did in his formative years. He kept the players on the field, but you know who did that? That was Don Maynard who insisted on it. Mm-hmm. Maynard said, you and I have things to work on. And within a very short amount of time, Pete Lammons, the tight end, was joining them, and George Sauer Jr., the split end, was joining them, and Bake Turner, the backup split end, was working with them. So you just have to build that real strong camaraderie and working with the guys and the timing mechanisms and everything else to make it work. So what concerns me about Fields missing 2 weeks is that it has created more of a problem for the Jets in the evaluation phase. And as he comes back on Monday night, not having practiced for a couple of weeks and coming off the horrible game that he had, who knows, which Fields we're going to see. Is it the guy who played in week one and who I was reading this week here in Chicago? He had a couple of 4-touchdown games when he was quarterbacking the Bears. They did not come back to back, but he had a couple of 4-touchdown games. Are we going to see that guy, or are we going to see the guy who looks rusty? And for good reason, he might look rusty.
Yeah, the good news is that I think from A to Z, Fields will only have missed 1 week of practice, the Buccaneers week, because he was back at practice yesterday. So, but still, that is time lost, that is chemistry, and there could be a return. I mentioned there's some positive.
But nuggets. He was in concussion protocol last week before the Tampa game, and that's why Correct. He couldn't play last week.
Right. I'm saying he did miss the entire Buccaneers practice week, so that's 1 week, all of last week. And I'm saying this week, the first practice was yesterday, and he was a full participant. But no, still, nonetheless, what will be hard to develop is the chemistry because their starting receiver, Josh Reynolds, has been out for weeks. It looks like he's trending to play on Monday, but Justin Fields and him haven't connected since week 1. And he didn't even contribute that much offensively anyway from that standpoint. So there's a lot of discombobulation here, offensively speaking. And then for Tanner, right, he was coaching for Justin Fields. They had to switch it to Tyrod, and then now back to Justin Fields. There's some herky-jerky nature with that on play calling too, which probably doesn't help either. So,
yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I personally, even with the big turnovers that Taylor had last week, I was not displeased with how he played. Because he took him down the field several times. And after they made the adjustments in the second half and they got him out of the pocket, so he wasn't such an easy target for pass rushers, They were pretty decent in the second half. So I don't. Again, I agree with you. There's no point to using Tyrod Taylor except in emergency situations. There's no benefit. There would be no benefit even if they weren't trying to evaluate Justin Fields, but they are trying to evaluate him. So every snap, is an important experience. And here's another thing that I got out of this story. One of the quarterbacks, I think it was also Alex Smith, pointed out that in college he did nothing but take deep snaps from center.
Yeah, shotgun. Yeah, Alex Smith at Utah, right?
And when he went to San Francisco, they said, "You're not doing that anymore. You get under the, you get friendly with your center, and that's how you get your snaps." And that was completely, different for him.
Yeah, very foreign.
In fact, I know that was a problem with Zach. Zach was not used to that either.
Definitely
when he came to the Jets.
Yeah. And again, we can only hope for better quarterbacking times ahead. Again, the good news, thank you to the 200 people that are watching the show right now. Out of the 200, we have 88 of them on YouTube. Make sure you guys like the video. That is a free way to contribute to the show. Help get this Jets show in front of others. So, folks, feel free to do that. Again, the math doesn't math. We only have like 30 likes on YouTube, but nearly 90 of you in the room on YouTube. So, guys, don't be afraid of it. Go ahead and slap around that like button. I'd appreciate it. That would be great. Pop joining us in the chat. Hey, now he could join us on the phone lines. That's very possible. With that being said, Bob, is there anything else you want to get off your chest before we jump over to the?
No, that was the big thing for me this week.
Okay.
That's the Jets are in a state of flux.
Quite.
And especially offensively, but with all the injuries on defense. Glenn did a great job last year in putting Band-Aids on the Detroit defense and trying to just keep them competitive in the game so the offense could play even and pull out games late in the game. And he's going to have to do a lot of the same magic, with this team, unfortunately. But it's a process. It's a process. And he said it's, as you said yesterday, get on the train. That's what he told us. And he didn't say be patient, but we're going to have to be patient. It's not going to change overnight. I didn't think they were a playoff team this year. A lot of people, including some people on this viewing cast, thought they were ready to take on the gods. We'll see, but it's one step at a time. I still expect improvement. I expect that the offense and the defense is going to very much better mesh. I heard yesterday on the radio here, Tom Thayer, who was a guard on the Bears Super Bowl team, and he was talking about working and playing with new guys on the offensive line and how difficult it is because of the blocks and the timing. If the timing is off just even a fraction of a second, the blocking scheme won't work. And I think that's a little bit of what we're seeing here too. Very talented people across the line, but getting to really know each other. And as I've said before, instinctively, you've got to be ready in that fraction of a second to do maybe what you had not planned to do, but that you now realize, or your brain realizes you need to do in order to make things work.
No question there's been a continuity issue. Right before the game week leading into the season opener, the Jets lost Elijah Vera-Tucker, the starting right guard, which caused all kinds of musical chairs around, which obviously affected some of that continuity. Shout out to Troy Sturgis here, baby.
Wow.
Thank you for the $1 super chat. You're $1 away from another raffle ticket, folks. Make sure you get your raffle tickets in. The final day to submit your raffle tickets for this month's contest is Tuesday, September 30th. So, again, that's coming up. We're here on Friday. So, Tuesday, September 30th is your final day to submit your raffle tickets for this month's contest. And in which we're going to highlight two things here. First off, let's highlight this month's contest here. All the items that are up for bid. They're right here on your screen. A New York Jets sideline hoodie, a New York Jets polo, a copy of a customized, personalized autograph copy of Beyond Broadway Joe, the Super Bowl team that changed football. Once a winner is selected on October 1st, Bob will write an inscription for whatever you'd like for whoever that winner is, which will make happen. Thank you. That was donated by Badshaw. Appreciate it. And 2 other items on this group: random vintage Jets player T-shirt and a one-of-a-kind Jet Zone banner from me and my former co-host Ty Butler. So all of these items are up for bid. All you have to do is spend $3 on the channel to be eligible. There are no limits. You can have as many raffle tickets as you'd like. The scrolling ticker down below includes all the raffle tickets for this month's contest. So good luck to everybody. And again, just spend $3 on the channel. You can do that if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that money sign, super chat, super stickers, membership gifting, and all that is all available to you out there in the universe. But
and I had a couple of people who had asked
yeah.
me to sign some of my books this week, and I did.
Yeah.
I got them out, and they should have received them by now.
Yeah, which I know one of them, or I know one pocket of people certainly did. Where is he here? Ah, there he is, my pop. He said, Bob, I received the books for the Wounded Warrior Project, biggest contributor. Thank you kindly. And we'll get a chance to plug that one as well. I mentioned that first raffle is our monthly raffle. Every month, if you're new to the channel, we do raffles for you Jet fans out there in the universe, which is a lot of fun. And that's just every month that happens here on the channel. But we also do, in this particular case right now, a raffle for charity. And let me throw that up on the screen. Pop, thank you for the comment here. We'll get back to that in a second. We are raising money for the Wounded Warrior Project, and this is the prize pack that is available. An autographed Boy Green hat. Again, our merch store isn't even out yet, so those are not even available for purchase. A Super Bowl signed photo there of Earl Christie with world champs on it. That's beautiful. Beyond Broadway Joe, an autographed copy that Bob has already delivered to my father, so that one is ready to roll, baby. That is the prize pack for our top contributor in the Wounded Warrior Project 50-50 raffle, which I'll show you guys on screen, a way that you guys can contribute with that, which would be amazing, and feel free to do so. This is for charity. That first raffle I showed you guys is simply for all fun gizmos and games that I do here on the channel on a month-to-month basis. But yes, if you do have the financial means, please feel free to contribute. Here it is on your screen. This is the Hop on Pop Wounded Warrior Project 50-50 raffle. 50% of the total proceeds raised will go to the Wounded Warrior Project. 50% of the proceeds will go to whoever the random person is that donated. Raffle tickets are $1 a piece. So if you just submit $1, you have a chance to win 50% of the money. But this is for charity, so hopefully you can dig deeper into your pockets if you have the financial means to do so. And yes, half of that money will go to the winner, that it will be selected live at our tailgate, Jets Cowboys, and the other half will go to the Wounded Warrior Project. Money is collected through my father's Venmo and PayPal at Paul-Esden or at HopOnPop22. HopOnPop22 is PayPal. At Paul-Esden is on Venmo there. So awesome stuff. And we've raised over $1,500 so far for charity. So thank you guys so much for all of your contributions, including last night. Let's give a special shout out here to DNY for Life, baby, for his contributions.
Will McDonald returns it into the end zone.
There you go. A big salute, DNY for Life, for sending in $65 for a Wounded Warrior Project. That's 65 raffle tickets for our contest. And thank you for your own service, and thank you for contributing to our charitable funds there. So,
by the way, yeah. Paul,
yes.
I don't know if it's affecting anybody else, but I'm not seeing those extra screens that you throw up for the charity event and for
okay. So let me see. So this right now you can't see?
Nope.
Okay.
I also didn't see or hear the video that you just ran for a few seconds.
Okay. Let me know if anybody else is having similar issues. If you can see what's on the screen, this Hop on Pop Wounded Warrior Project, give a thumbs up or let me know if you can see it. I appreciate it. And let me know real quick, guys. Just want to get an understanding here if we're having any technical issues. Pop says we can see it. So, okay. I guess it's a Bob issue. So apologies for whatever we're dealing with, Bob, there. But all right, that's okay. We'll try to fix it. And Pop, giving a shout out to DNY for Life. Appreciate it, shipmate, fellow Navy shipmates together, which is terrific. And we'll see him at the Jets Cowboys game. All right. With that being said, Bob. Oh, wait, actually, I believe we have a DNY for Life super chat coming through in here. Speaking of DNY for Life. Here we go, baby. Let's send this through.
Wow.
Yes, Bob, you referenced that some people perhaps on the screen felt that the Jets are going to be in a certain category this season. And DNY for Life would like to remind you that there's still 14 games left, Bob. So we're right on track for 12-5. We're just getting some of the losses out of the way.
Oh, well, yeah, you might as well get them out of the way early. I mean, what difference does it make if you do them early or late? It's better if you do it early, you know.
Exactly.
And I love putting fear into the hearts of our opponents.
There you go. And really, it's lulling them into a false sense of security because, 0-3 Dolphins are like, this team sucks. And then,
yeah, we're going to run all over these guys. Yeah.
That's it. DNY for life. Again, chess, not checkers. Chess, not
checkers. What
What
is Monday Night Football going to do if we're ahead 40-0 at halftime? What are they going to talk about in the second half?
Probably, I guess, the other game, because there'll be another game running about an hour and a half after the Jets Dolphins game. So this is the only positive news. So, Bob, you're not in love with these late Monday Night Football games, which I can totally understand. It's late, it's a weekday, and all those things. So the Jets game starts at 7:15, so they get the earlier game, blessed be he. And then the other game, which will be on ABC, Bengals-Broncos, at 8:15. So these games will be running concurrently. Last week, they had the two Monday night games separated. So you watch the first one, it ended. Then you watch the second one in its full entirety.
Yeah.
In this Monday, they will be rubbing against each other, and you'll have both of those games on at the same time. That won't matter to me because I'm going to be all in on the Jets-Dolphins game. But for those that are casual football viewers, you guys will get the taste of both worlds there happening on.
Hey, Paul, what do you think? I'm looking at myself. You get a little bit of the Woody Johnson look.
Not quite. I see what you're saying. Now, Woody has a particular hat style. It's a little bit of a smaller hat than yours. He has it more up here where it's not quite flat build, but just a little bit of a curve there. So you've got a little bit more curvature on your hat. And, you know. And
I got the less expensive hat. He can afford the more expensive hat.
That's a good point. And I think the Jet fans respect you a lot more than Woody Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
wish I had his money.
So do I, baby. That would be wonderful.
In another life.
Hey, you never know what can happen. Well, let's do this, everybody. If you're out there in the audience, again, like the video, hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. We are streaming live on Facebook and Twitter as well. We're going to play a quick Hep timeout. Hep is a legendary caller of this show. So after this quick intermission, we'll open up the phone lines. If you guys would like to call into the show, if you're on Facebook or Twitter, you have to hop on over to YouTube exclusively. It'll be the pinned comment.
Okay, before you hit that button, let me just say something, okay?
Please, of course, yeah.
Here's Hef.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Let's go.
You heard Bob. Here's Hef. And that is hilarious. Just slightly, just a bit outside is what we had there on that call. But that's all right. We'll get to that in just a second here. I see we have a membership coming in. Shout out to Joshua Langley, who is going to be at our Jets Cowboys tailgate. I can't wait to meet you, Joshua, here on the program. Thank you for gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership, baby. All right, Joshua, let's add that to your total so far this month, which we appreciate all the support. Keep those memberships flowing from the high heavens, baby. And every time we get 5 memberships or more gifted at once, we play a video package. By the way, Joshua, you have 2 raffle tickets to our contest so far this month. So thank you. And that membership, by the way, went to Joey R. R is in rabbit, because it feels important to get letters in here. So let's do it. Without further ado, we have Bob Lederer here on the show. So, Bob, what did you say right before the commercial break?
Here's Hef.
Well, here's Hef. Hef, welcome to the show, man.
Sorry, I saw Carson reruns this week, and I just couldn't control myself.
That's okay.
There you go. Hey, Bob, you don't look like Woody. Woody's more Poindexter looking. You're a much more distinguished gentleman than that.
There you go. So, yeah, tell us what's on your mind, Hef.
Okay. I was watching the other day. I was watching the Joe Namath retirement of his number, and
Yes.
a couple of things stood out to me. One was he had a permanent, and he looked like Dan Marino.
Mm.
And the other thing was he did mention, he goes, I want to thank everybody. Clues and Boozer and Snell and all the other guys. So he did name him by name.
Okay,
That was
nice.
good.
And Winston Hill.
And Winston Hill, right?
Yeah, of course.
Winston Hill played left tackle for him in every professional game he ever played.
Well, yeah, that's your bodyguard right there.
Wait. He followed him over to the Rams after?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he did.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And
Wow,
he had an abbreviated
Wow.
he had an abbreviated final season with LA too.
That's
Oh,
unbelievable. That is
Yeah,
that I just said this wild stat earlier from Rich. Like, for the first time since 1933, I thought that'd be the coolest stat I'd hear today. And then Bob, you just one up me here. I was like, wow, I did not know. That's
I'll give you another one from this article
right.
that I'm recommending to everybody.
All right.
The week one starters at quarterback in the league this year was the lowest age across the board in 67 years.
Holy cow. Wow. We need quarterbacks in the NFL.
That's for sure, Hef. That is for sure, pal.
We need good ones, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's on your mind, Hef?
Yeah. Hef, what's up, Hef? Yeah.
The other thing was that they give him a standing ovation for over a half hour, Joe Namath. And they showed his numbers, and he's got more interceptions than touchdowns, but we know who Joe is. The numbers don't call it.
Yeah, but it was a different world back then, Hef. It was a different world.
Yeah. He was crying. It was pretty, and Weeb was there. He was like on some kind of crutches or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
it was just good. This fan base is such a good fan base, even with losing teams, and we still stick by our people, and we're the lovable losers, I guess, right now. But when we win, it's going to be glorious.
I don't think anybody who's a Jet fan looks at him as a lovable loser, unlike the other team I root for. But it's it's really unfortunate. They seem snake bit that almost nothing that they do seems to work out. But that's why I think you have to have more patience.
Sure.
There are guys that they have given 3, 4, 5 years who proved pretty early on that they weren't very good at what they did. But I think Aaron Glenn seems like a keeper to me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
between his Parcells connection and the way he speaks, and again, he got criticized, for how he was talking to the media. But to me, he's talking to his players. He's not really talking.
He's not putting on an act. Yeah, he's not putting on an act. He's being himself.
Which is why I loved his response, because so yesterday was his first media availability since after the game. They weren't going to ask him immediately after the game. So yesterday was sort of the first media availability since the joke went viral of him dancing on the sideline, that thing I just played for DNY for Life. And, they said, hey, AG, what did it feel like to be an internet sensation? At first, he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I'm sure your kids showed you, and he's like, oh, that's what you're talking about. And he just sort of paused for a second to gather his thoughts. And then he just went like, you know what? I'm me. I'm unapologetically me. Yeah. I'm going to be me. And if I didn't do that after that crazy play Will McDonald did, my family would have reached out to me and said, what are you doing? Why are you not being yourself like normal? So every
other coach we've had in memory has raced down the sidelines when one of his guys made a big play like that.
Yeah.
But only Aaron Glenn really let it go.
Yeah.
Showed us what he was really feeling.
I mean, look at this. I mean, we have the video footage right here. Here is the long form version of our boy AG here. I know I have it right here. Here it is. Here is AG.
The extra point for the lead. You bet Aaron Glenn is happy. He's running a 4.5 right there, Kenny, chasing down Will McDonald for that touchdown. Man, and the Jets trailed 23.
It's just cool seeing that after, it just shows you that AG is not just, hey, screw you media at the podium. There's more man there. There's a bigger piece. We just see a small slice of it on a week-to-week basis on the podium that obviously his players, he's tough with his players, but also shows hey, when they make big plays, he's not just this tough curmudgeon. Hey, there's more to AG. So.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, did you see Paul do as he was doing the play-by-play when Will McDonald blocked that punt?
I saw the replay. And I wanted to say something about that too, Paul.
Oh, okay.
And now that we've become friends, I know that you will take to heart.
Oh boy,
what I say to you.
Okay, of course, obviously, yeah.
Stick to doing color.
Okay, that's probably for the best.
I've done play-by-play, and one time, and I've done basketball mostly, and one time I screamed so loud like that I lost my voice.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair advice.
But I could still be understood as to what I was saying as I was screeching and losing.
Inaudible. I've heard it before.
Yeah, I think we needed closed captioning.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, we did. Interpret like inaudible noises, whatever's happening there. So
yeah, exactly. Just inaudible. Yeah, inaudible.
Two things here. Hef, you have been such an important part of the fabric of this show, so I want to give you a special shout out, Hef. And actually, we have a question from the audience, real quick. Johnny Boy says, a question for Hef. How's it living in the Playboy Mansion, and how were the parties, Hef?
Well, I'm getting older now. I'm having to slow down on the parties. The girls, I still got the little blue pill, so I'm so good with that. So
there we go. Hef, thank you so much, Hef. Appreciate it. There he is. And what did you say again before the break, Bob? What?
Here's Hef. Well, let me adjust it.
Oh.
There's Hef.
Hef, one of the best, baby, undeniably. Terrific. You got to love some Hef. Gotta love some Hef. Thank you guys for the questions and comments. Keep those coming here on the program. Appreciate it. We're here with myself, with Bob Lederer, and just graced ourselves by Hef. But now let's go back to the phone lines here and look at this. FL Phil 98, baby. Philium graces us with his presence. The legend, the OG. What's up, Philium?
Well, thank you very much, Paul and Bob. It's good to see you again. It's really tough to follow that call, but I'm going to take this in a very different direction. So wow. I want to start real quick by saying to Alon, hear me out before you call me delusional. Thank you. Okay. All right. Now, the Ravens and Chiefs are both 1-2, right? Mm-hmm. So unless there is some kind of crazy tie, somebody's going to be 1-3, right? Are those pretty good football? Are they pretty good football teams?
I'd say that. Sure, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now the Packers are playing the Cowboys. Cowboys are currently 1-2. Right?
They are. Yep.
I would say the odds are the Cowboys come limping in here at 1-3 for the big tailgate, right?
More likely than not. Yeah, they're
that's a fair assessment, right?
And I would,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Green Bay coming off the game that they played last week.
Yeah, right. They're going to be angry.
Whoa, what a stinker.
Yep. Okay. Now, the Bengals play the Broncos this week. That's the late Monday night game.
Yeah, the other Monday night game. Correct. Yep.
Okay. Now, the Bengals without Joe Burrow, and I'm going to get back to that later. Okay. But the Bengals without Joe Burrow, certainly not the team that people thought they might be this year.
Definitely.
They're 2-1. The Broncos are 1-2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Now let's say the Broncos bump them off and get to 2-2. Well, they got the Eagles week 5. Okay. And then we play them week 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that probably 2-3 when we play them.
Probably.
And, and if the Jets can get their shit together, we could be 2-3.
Yeah.
Right? These are not predictions. These are just saying, like, rational thought. These are very, very likely possibilities for everybody but the Jets.
Yeah.
To be what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Cincinnati is another team that we play our last game before the bye, who I think the wheels have come off yet again. And that's where I said I would get back to them. All right. Mm-hmm. They have Detroit week 5, Green Bay week 6. Pittsburgh week 7 on a Thursday night.
Oh,
okay. Could they be a complete disaster by the time we play them? And we've got Carolina the week before.
Okay. So you're saying 12-5 is not out of the possibility.
I'm not saying anything of the kind, Bob. But what I'm trying to here's what the real point of my conversation is.
Okay.
We as Jet fans completely entitled to feeling like we are snake bit and oh my God, we always suck. And this is okay. All right. There's a lot of teams. Look at Cincinnati the last several years. Every time they think they're going to be okay, right? They got their quarterback, and then he can't stay on the field. And, high hopes with big disappointments. And we could go around the league, the Carolinas and so forth. There's a lot of teams that I'm sure their fans want to put a bullet in their head too. Okay?
Yep.
So all I'm really trying to get to here is, and it's a big if, the biggest word, right? The biggest 2-letter word. If the Jets can just play decent football for a couple of weeks and pull out a win or two, we were always talking about the second half of the season having 5 or 6 very winnables on it. Look at the entire schedule going forward now. All they have to do is get their head out of their ass. And by the way, as bad as they have been, they could be 2-1 very easily.
For sure.
Okay. Does the ball bounce their way for a change? Right? Does Fields come back this week and play better? Right? We had such high hopes after week 1, and we're ready to ship them to Siberia after week 2. Right? All I'm trying to say is I'm not some cockeyed optimist. I'm saying there's a lot of teams who by week 5 or 6 this year are going to be 1-4, 2-3, 1-5. There's going to be a lot of them. Yeah. And their fans are going to feel the same freaking way.
Mm-hmm.
I won't use the word optimistic as much as I still have hope.
No, I think it's being realistic. Any team can beat any other team in any given week. I mean, come on. How could Green Bay lose to Cleveland last week? That's impossible. But they did.
Yeah.
That's why you play the games.
Yeah, exactly. But Aaron Glenn said after the game last week, and I think it was Monday, we have to learn how to win. We have to learn how to close out the games, and it's true.
Right.
And one sack, when Tampa had the ball the last time, it might have completely changed the entire game, because if it had been 2nd and 28 or something.
Sure.
He might have thrown a more risky throw that might have, missed the mark, and the Jets could have had an interception, or maybe there was a fumble recovery or whatever. So, they say about baseball being a game of interest, so is football.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, the Jets, as we've, been enumerating for the last week and a half, between injuries and bad play, and there's a lot going on here. Okay, Stevens is a disaster. The entire secondary pretty much has been a disaster. The linebackers were playing bad before they got hurt. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of problems here. Mm-hmm. The only question is, can we get some young guys to step up? Can we get a little more cohesion? Every first year coach is going to have his growing pains. I said it back in the summer. Early in the season, we're probably going to have a stinker or two, and we have to understand that shit's going to happen. Yeah. So, it's hard to have any optimism about this team right now, because they have really looked so bad the last couple of weeks. Full stop. They have looked awful. All right. Yeah. All you can do is have hope that they know that, and that they have some idea of how to get better. And, I said from the start, I thought this was an 8 or 9 win team. I still think that's very possible. And that's all I'm looking for. And I said also, if they're bad, I said they might be 2-6 at the break. But if they're improving as they go along, if they end up winning 7, 8, 9 games and look better as the year goes on, that's progress. That's what we were hoping for. If you're being realistic, that's all you can hope for right now. So, that's it, man. I'm just saying, as Jesse Jackson would have said, keep hope alive.
That's it, William. Thank you so much for gracing us. Oh, Bob, would you have
I just wanted to ask him if he's still there.
Oh, he is.
What's the weather forecast for Monday? Do you know?
Yeah, Florida, Phil. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a little bit up in the air because of whether the storm is going to track left or not. But yeah, it looks like it's probably not going to be a very pleasant evening. And it's really hard to say right now. But yeah, I mean, I don't expect it to be a nice night. I do think it's possible to have some crappy weather, which I think could help us. And one last thought, I'm glad that we didn't end the call where I did, is that, but I've been saying for a year now, if Brees Hall is ever going to be what we hoped he would be, the guy's playing for a contract. Even if we are looking at trading him, he's playing for his next contract. If this guy is ever going to step up, let it start in Miami this week.
Yeah, we can only hope.
They were talking in Chicago this week about running backs that the Bears need, and at the top of the list was our halfback.
Yeah,
I just don't see it happening because I don't think they could get enough draft capital, for the ability that he has. And the worst thing they could do would be to trade him to a team and suddenly he looks like an all-pro.
Yeah, but you can't live with that fear. Last year, there was a lot of people talking about trading him before this season. And, we were looking at a 3rd-round pick. Some people were saying second. I don't think anybody was given a second after the last 2 years of Brees Hall's performance. So what is a 3rd or a 4th-round pick going to do for you? You're lucky if you can replace what you have with Brees Hall, even when he's not playing well.
They were talking here about a 5. And that's my power while I heard that, and I was laughing. A 5.
Right, well,
5.
Well, that's my point. Is that I've said this all along. If you're at the trading deadline and you're 2-6, 2-7, and Brees Hall hasn't looked great, you're gonna take whatever you get for him, and you're gonna move on. Okay. If he's having a good year and you're 2-7. You're going to get a better draft pick. You still, I believe, move on.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you still got a shot,
you keep
it's all going to depend on what the offer is. All right. Well, if somebody offers me a 2nd-round pick for Brees Hall, I still have a couple of decent running backs. I'm not going anywhere this year. I'll trade them. So all of that will take care of itself at the trading deadline. So what do we have? We've got a month of Brees Hall. You're playing for your future, whether it's with the Jets or somebody else. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Philium, and you dropping Philium Gospel here on the program, baby. I love seeing this emoji.
I hope the offensive line was listening while you were saying that.
Well, we can only hope. Philium, thank you and stay safe with all the storms.
Have a great weekend.
You too, guys. Thanks.
There he is, Philium. Now, you just heard from Philium, interestingly. He was like, hey, Alon, hey, man. Sort of.
Is that an intro? Is that what we're about to hear? There he is.
There he is.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. Good morning, gentlemen. I will counter that Sudoku scenario by Philium. So, but first, Bob, I hope you and yours have a safe fast this Wednesday/Thursday.
And to you, I hope it's an easy fast for you.
And secondly, I did chuckle last Saturday night when the Hoosiers dropped 63 on your Illini. That was pretty fun. It was fun to watch.
You got a pretty good quarterback there.
That is what you got out of it. You got a guy who's actually going to be in the Jets' radar in Mr. Mendoza. He comes to Iowa City this Saturday, so very much looking forward to watching that. Couple of comments before I go after Mr. Philium. First, on Monday night, the key to Monday night is whether the Dolphins are motivated to play for their coach.
Yeah.
Did they go completely all out for him last Thursday in Buffalo? If not, I look at this matchup and I look at the speed that the Dolphins possess with no JJ and no Quincy. They will throw the ball all over the field against the Jets. I don't think the Jets have that defense to defend that speed. I just don't. So
what about the weather? Alon, what about the weather conditions?
That's fair. That
is the weather and the motivation will be the key to this game. If the weather is good, which I think it's going to be okay. I think
it looks okay right now. The ESPN AccuWeather, which has game time kickoff, it looks okay right now, but we'll see.
I think it'll be okay. Again, out of the 4 units, and I'll exclude the special teams units, out of the 4 units you'll see on the field, I have the most confidence in the Dolphins offense than the other 3 units. I think the Jets could run the ball against the Dolphins, but I could also see the Dolphins packing the box and basically daring Justin Fields to throw the ball. And in that scenario, a couple of those can go right in the hands of Minkah Fitzpatrick. That Ashton Davis has that ability to catch balls as well. So you have no idea.
Right place, right time. Yeah, right.
I want to talk about AG for a second. I want to piggyback off something that Neil said yesterday.
Okay.
So during the press conference, his opening press conference, he was a cliche machine. I understand the what's it called?
Here we go.
Everything about pro Jets and we're gonna fight for this shit or whatever. He also mentioned that this team was a win now team. This team could win now. Mm-hmm. He also took a couple of shots at the previous regime, basically telling everybody that this team was not properly coached. So with that scenario, Aaron Glenn basically put a bullseye on his back. And at 0-3, with the way that this team is being coached, I just don't understand why he was so confident in the talent on this team, especially with the quarterback who is, in my opinion, a placeholder in 2025. So I don't understand why Aaron Glenn was so confident coming to this season. I just don't get it. I just don't see a lot of talent on this team. I don't see a lot of depth on this team. And I just don't see that we have the right quarterback going forward on this team. So I think Aaron needed to just lay low. You can motivate the fans, but to say this is a team that could win now, I just never understood that.
Well, he certainly wasn't going to, in his introductory press conference, say, let's start the rebuild.
No, I just wanted him to be, you could be motivated. The idea that this team could win now was misguided, in my opinion.
Yeah, he did say that.
I just don't think this team could win. I never thought this team was going to win this year. So, and then taking shots at the previous regime. And Paul, I couldn't stand the previous regime. I thought they were incompetent the last couple of years. But to take shots at the previous regime before you actually step on the field was a little low blow, in my opinion.
And for those who missed it, just one off the top of my head that stands out because Will McDonald's been talked about. Will McDonald, who, if you described him, you would describe him as a finesse player with everything he's shown so far. But apparently in training camp, he did a bull rush move, a power move to get past a tackle. And the media member, I believe there's Connor Hughes of SNY, went like, whoa, we haven't seen that before.
Yeah, he did. Look at that. Look at that bull move. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's impressive. And he's like, we haven't seen that before. And coach is like, oh, you haven't? And he's like, and then Connor Hughes is like, why haven't we? Coaching. Of course, taking a shot at the previous regime, whether and perhaps it's been non-direct from the standpoint that he hasn't mentioned Salah's name or Ulbricht's name or any of these names, but it's very easy to connect the dots on a lot of the players, which obviously they could only be hearing it from AG, I would imagine, behind the scenes when they're like, finally some accountability, finally this. There's a lot of, again, names weren't directly mentioned, but it's easy to connect the dots with a lot of that conversation this offseason.
And finally, to my good friend Philium.
Yes, Philium.
This team has been non-competitive for 7 of the last 8 quarters. All week, I kept hearing people say, oh, this team could be 2-1, okay? If Todd Bowles didn't basically take his foot off the gas, this team would have lost by 4 touchdowns last Sunday, okay? He stopped blitzing at 23-6. He went prevent in the last 10 and a half minutes. So when people continue to tell me,
wait a minute, every team.
Hold on, he stopped blitzing at 23-6, Bob. Bob, that game was over.
And you said they were non-competitive 7 of the last quarters. Well, they played a very good first quarter and a very good fourth quarter last year.
They played an average first quarter with a zillion. Okay, 6.5 out of the last 8 quarters they were non-competitive. They were not competitive against Buffalo, and they were really not competitive last Sunday. Okay, I don't care what the last 10 minutes said. Todd Bowles decided not to coach in the last 10 and a half minutes, and I continue to hear people say, oh, the Jets were one. Come on, Todd Bowles didn't really give a damn in the last quarter, okay? What? So when he talks about the next 4 or 5 games, all these teams the Jets are playing are looking at this franchise and say, we can get real good, real right against the Jets.
Let me tell you something. They kept showing Todd Bowles on the sideline when the Jets were going downfield and getting the touchdown that pulled them within 26-20. And he was not disengaged.
Hold on.
And it was 26-13 at that point.
Okay, Bob.
He was not disengaged,
Bob,
and he was not poo-pooing as the Jets were going down the field. You know, whether it was a prevent defense or not.
Bob,
when you let them go down, hold on, let me finish. When you let them go down the field and they get within striking distance, and they get inside the 20, and you let them score a touchdown.
Bob, at 23-6, why did he stop blitzing?
I don't know.
What? That's
wait a minute. One of the reasons was that the Jets.
I don't care.
The Jets finally took their quarterback and got him out of the pocket.
Over at 23-6. Come on, stop being like this, Bob. Bob, the game was over.
It was
not over. Coaching.
It was not over.
We are Jet fans. We know Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles stopped coaching. Bob, even look at Paul. He's smiling. He knew that Todd Bowles stopped coaching. Paul, he stopped coaching at 23-6.
I don't know. I don't know if I saw that.
Other teams look at the Jets and look at our putrid secondary. We have one linebacker who's playing pretty much half speed, and we have no pass rush besides one guy. Again, people say week to week for JJ. JJ's not coming back anytime soon. I'm sorry. He's just not. Okay? He's not. When a coach says week to week, expect him to be out for another 3-4 weeks. Okay? So you're basically going to play Michael Clemens 35 to 40 snaps on the other side. You don't think teams like the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Broncos, the Panthers, and the Bengals, our next 5 opponents, are salivating over the opportunity to play this awful franchise? You got to be kidding me. I know people are like, Rosie, we're going to win 4 out of 5. This team has no shot in hell.
You're talking. Wait a minute. First of all, you are so negative.
I'm not negative. I'm real.
I have a little ditty for you.
Realistic.
Will McDonald had a block. E-I-E-I-O.
2-6 at the bye. I hope they lose the rest of the year.
But you're talking as if the Jets are the only team that have clear vulnerabilities on offense or defense. Okay. Every team does, and the injuries pile up every week for every team. They are not
going into Cincinnati and winning that game. I don't care if it's Jake Browning's girlfriend as the quarterback. They're not going to Cincinnati and win that game. They're not going to London and beating Sean Payton. I'm sorry. The only game I could see them maybe winning in the next couple is next Sunday without CeeDee Lamb. Again,
our tailgate. Nice.
We actually might win that game.
All right. Hey, you think Dallas has some vulnerabilities in the secondary?
I don't care about the secondary. They're out their best player. They're out their best player next week.
But I watched last week because I wanted to see the Bears fail again. And you know what? Caleb Williams tore the Dallas Cowboys apart.
Okay.
There was no part of their defense.
Do you have confidence in Justin Fields?
The Bears are not very good.
I don't.
JF7, baby. JF7.
Okay. Old Will McDonald had a block. E-I-E-I-O.
You're living in a dreamland, my man. Okay. And again, this game was 23-6 last week. Todd Bowles took a nap in the last 10.5 minutes. Took a nap.
Alana, I love you.
35-24 Dolphins Monday night.
Okay.
Have a good one, boys.
The pleasure was all ours, as always. There you go. Alon gracing us with his presence.
You're such a good host, Paul.
Hey, that's what I tried to do. Hey, by the way, speaking of, I may be a good host. You're a great guest. Old Yank jumping in with a YouTube super chat. Thank you very much.
Wow.
The delivery man, Bob. Everyone's been receiving your books, including Old Yank. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Bob got the book.
And the publisher is running out of copies. So
wow. There you go. So we'll have to get on that. Thank you, Old Yank. You're $1 away from another raffle ticket. You have 8 raffle tickets so far this month. A big salute to you. Wow. This has been quite a show so far. And, well, it's a Friday. So that means we have to get to a special individual, Bob, and a special individual that is indeed coming to our Jets Cowboys tailgate.
Hey, I saw that video. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Philly Noodles, how are you?
Yeah.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Let's go.
Sun's out, guns out.
Billy, well, it's our first time talking on air since this has happened. So,
Yes.
that it's official. You're coming to our Jets Cowboys tailgate, and I'll throw this out to the universe. 2 tickets are now available, and something else has happened. So we have tickets overall left available. So, folks, if you're out there in the universe, again, this is surprising news because we were sold out, but now 2 tickets have become available for the Jets Cowboys game. And they're in different places. Unfortunately, they're not next to each other. Like I said, there's a surprise with this situation. There's a seat next to Philly available, and a seat in our frontmost row that is available. So if you guys are interested in Jets Cowboys, the other good news is all of that money will be going to charity, just like for Philly here. So if you guys are out there in the universe and you're feeling froggy about going to that Jets Cowboys game, we have 2 tickets available. Jets Cowboys. Feel free to reach out to me ASAP, and we'll see if we could get you in. Just like
Hey, Philly, how long have you been a Mets fan?
My whole life. My dad.
Okay.
My dad
Are you in despair about this weekend the way I am about having to play the Marlins?
I'm okay with knowing the other opponents, but so my thing is if the Padres bench some players just for the sake of having themselves already in the playoffs,
yeah, right, they're in.
Then we're kind of screwed. Yeah,
I don't think.
I mean,
I don't think they're going to do that because the game has playoff impact.
Seeding, that's right. So I think we could beat them at least twice, but I forget the tiebreaker. I don't think we win the tiebreaker if we tie with Cincinnati.
No, we don't. I have an in-law who is from Cincinnati and a Reds fan, and I told him the other day, I think you should be very, very calm and collected because the Mets are going to lose 2, maybe 3 out of 3 against the Marlins, and so all you got to do is tie them.
By the way, random here, Hennessy Heisman will be tailgating in D1. So if you guys are looking for us out on Sunday, Jets Cowboys will be D1. Gates open at 8, and we'll set up as soon as we finish setting up. Me, Chef Kevin Gilbert, Lou B is bringing the Sprinter, and everyone else. The tailgate will be open. So I guess that's lightly 9 o'clock, but as soon as we set up, it'll be ready to go. So Hennessy.
Okay, we took the hint, Paul. We'll stop talking baseball.
No.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, whoever gets a seat next to me, if you do, I will shower the morning before.
Okay.
That morning of. So you're set. You're definitely set. Don't worry, and I'll brush my teeth.
Okay. Good to know. Yep.
Yeah, I have a little gift for Chef Kevin Gilbert.
Ooh, nice.
When I see him, funny little gag gift. He'll love it.
I love that.
I hope he keeps it in the kitchen, and every time he shows up on the show, he video cameras it. I have some stuff that I'm gathering up for that raffle. Remember I was telling you?
Yes.
Little jet things here and there that I'm going to bring down, so you can just enter it and stuff them into whatever, or I'll create a basket or whatever. But I am stupid excited. My fiance was dying to get rid of me when she was like, "Oh,
that's an option."
Stream.
Yeah, right.
She's like, "I'm going to stream," because she's been streaming on Fortnite,
trying to
make a little money, just BSing while she's playing sometimes. So she's like, maybe I'll do like a 12-hour stream or something. I was like, oh my god,
oh wow,
cool.
Sweet.
Screw me,
yeah. So excellent. So cool for Chef Kev. I can't wait to see what that is. That's going to be awesome because we'll have the meet and greet the night before. Which, by the way, Chef says he doesn't want me to promote this crazy out there in the universe, but on the show we will, and it is that if we get to 40 people for a meet and greet, he has some special meal he wants to prepare for the people there, because everyone will be able to order their own food. It's not like a buffet or anything. When we're all up there in the private room, you'll be able to order off the menu. But he says if we get 40 people, we will, and I think we're at 32 right now. So if we get 8 more people for the meet and greet, he'll present some special dish that he's been working on. But I guess it requires a certain amount of people. So fascinating. So Chef Kev is always doing good for us. So yeah, that's out there in the universe. If you guys are interested in that is Saturday, October 4th at 7:30 at the Cloverleaf Tavern. So make sure you guys know if you're local to reach out.
Let me do my best Alon impression. Bab. But Bab. Bob. Yo.
That's good.
I like Alon because his his controversial takes. Listen, I can understand where he's coming from, but at the same rate, it's like you can't say that some of these other teams aren't limping into what their situation is.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, I mean, just losing CeeDee Lamb, that's like and then you're coming in to play a Jets team who's hungry, who needs a win, right? Just say if we lose, it's smelling like one of those situations where we pick up the steam and win, and it's at home. You never know. So I think that game actually could go the way we want. I was more concerned about the weather if it was that hot again, because I was out there last week and I almost melted. I almost had a heat stroke.
Yeah, let me check what the weather is right now when it's scheduled. Let me, I'll pull that up here.
But Bob, to be honest with you, with the Mets, I think they can pull it off. I'm just more concerned with the Brewers. If the Brewers play Cincinnati correctly, they're the number 1 seed. So I can't see them.
Yeah, I don't think the Brewers are going to play everybody that they normally would. But again, the league expects them, to be as competitive as they can be because it has playoff implications.
That's right. I mean,
but I have seen too many Mets Marlins last week of the season game
meltdowns.
And I tell you what, the Marlins, first of all, are hot right now, and secondly, they play the kind of really clean Brewers-like baseball that give the Mets fits. They single and double you and steal you to death.
Well, that's the way the Mets should have been themselves.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Small ball sometimes wins out no matter what. It's baseball, right? It always comes back to the same thing.
We're talking too much baseball, though.
Yeah.
I could go on for.
But so when it comes to the Jets, I said it right after week 1, and I've been saying it for a couple of years here. I thought they should have drafted Jahad Campbell at linebacker.
Alabama, yes.
Yeah, I thought they should have grabbed Peyton Wilson if they didn't grab anyone else in North Carolina.
Oh, the NC State kid. Yes, yes.
I've been saying it for years. Just because you have one good linebacker, I don't know any team that wins a Super Bowl with only one good linebacker. It's just not a thing. We can go years back. Ray Lewis wasn't playing with scrubs around him when he won, and he was the main focus.
Sissel. Yeah, right.
It's just there is. You need to. You need to. Quincy getting hurt now makes Sherwood more noticeable for him just slacking this whole. I don't know. I feel like he's been lost. You know what I mean? It's not Saleh's defense no more.
Yeah,
we're not converting secondary men into linebackers no more. We want real linebackers.
What was your reaction to the kid they picked up from?
Oh, I went crazy in the stands. I shook my son. I tried to leave out of the stadium seat, and I'm like, dude, I can't take it anymore. I'm too hot. And he's like, Dad, you got to stop. You got to believe. I looked at him. I was like, I love you, bro. It's your first game ever. I love you. All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
And the kick happened. I looked at him. He looked at me. I started shaking him. There's 3 Jets fans behind us. We're like, oh, my God. I'm cursing. I'm screaming. I'm like, yeah. He comes in, and then Baker Mayfield does a 1-2 shuffle, and Clemens gets lost in his own sauce, and he can't swim, club, spin, bull rush a tight end. A tight end has held him down. He had no wherewithal to get out of that block. I can't. Indy's gonna get on here, and me and him always go back and forth with Clemens. He likes to stir the pot with Clemens. I can't do it, bro.
What did you think of the kid they traded for from Tennessee?
Jarvis Brownlee Jr.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw it in the transactions column because I wasn't. We had a Jewish holiday this week, and so I couldn't really turn on the TV or the radio or a computer, or whatever, and so I was restricted to just picking up the paper the next day. And I said, well,
we got a starting corner for a bag of beans.
Yeah, but you got a starting corner who needs a lot of work. I was reading the Tennessee, side of things after I read the Jets side of things. And first of all, not only does he have too many penalties, he sticks with the receiver, unlike our other corner who have problems with. Then he gets penalized because he uses his hands too much. And secondly, when he doesn't get penalized, they complete almost 70% of the passes against him.
He's obviously not perfect. There's a reason that the Jets got him, but he's one of the best run tackling corners in football. Welcome to the squad, buddy. We can use that. That's really encouraging.
And so he might be more valuable. He might be more valuable against slot receivers
What's
Sure,
his height
right.
and weight?
I got to get that. Yeah, let me get that in front of me. And I will also say this on the kid as well. He's 24 and he has 2.5 years of cheap team control. I love that as well. He's listed at 5'10", 194.
Okay. I was gonna say if he was a little bit bigger, I could see him doing like some nickel, outside,
Yeah, quasi linebacker and a smaller, play small ball, which could have been possible. But he's a great tackler. I love that. We got him for nothing. We gave up no pick. The pick that we gave up is a pick we're getting back, so we're just picking a little bit later in the draft. So we gave up no pick. We got a 24-year-old who, again, has started whatever it is, 16 or 19 games in the last year and a half. Works for me. I'll take it.
So one comment I had, and then I'll get off. What I wanted to say originally, and we talked about the tailgate and Bab. 100%. I like the momentum of, okay, this isn't working. Accountability. Get to my front office. They're clearly scheming together. It's not like he's making a move. Like I don't know how much Joe Douglas would have talked to Saleh and saying, I didn't sign Reddick yet, or he hasn't committed on it. Or, do you think that was a good idea? A lot of Woody stuff people were coming out from the background with, right? We haven't heard not one Woody said this, and that's why we did that out of the front office. That's huge. I think that Moogie and Glenn are working behind the scenes together properly. I think that reminds me of around the time where, we made proper trades and we signed proper people in the past where you can right the ship right the next year. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's good momentum to see that they're doing things and trying to clear up stuff as they're going.
I agree with you. The fact that Woody's not getting involved is a big
plus. Blessed be he.
All right, gentlemen.
Well, Philly, I can't wait to meet you in person. So thanks for deciding, and thanks to your wife for pushing you and making it happen. Awesome. So let's go, baby. Can't wait, Philly.
Wish you good luck on Fortnite.
Yeah, I will. I'll tell her that Bob Letter said that. 100%.
Oh, wait a second. Actually, I believe we have footage of Bob doing one of those Fortnite dances.
Jets, Jets.
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did see that one.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Philly, thanks, brother.
Have a good weekend.
We have 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. Of the 400 people watching here on the show, 100 of them are on YouTube. So, guys, make sure you guys like the video if you're enjoying the show. Hell, even if you're hating the show, I'd appreciate a like anyway. I'll take them any way we could get them. We got 60 likes right now and 100 people in the room. Make sure you guys continue to like the video and show your support here on the channel. All right, let's go. Next up, it's your favorite guy that you peer pressured into revealing personal identification information. That is Carl, man with the jet tattoo. What's up,
Carl? Pal? Good. What is it? K884.
Hey, how you doing, Bob?
Yeah,
how
I
you
believe
doing,
that's
boy
his
Green?
bank account. Yeah. There you go. What's up, Carl? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, listen. Let me say something right off the bat.
All right.
Alon, you're a piece of shit.
Wow. Okay.
Alon is a piece of shit.
How do you really feel?
I'll tell you something. Oh man, I'll tell you what. Bring that guy to a Jet bar, and I guarantee you, he'll be out of there before the first quarter comes. Out on his ass.
I think he'll be dragged
because
out
people.
Yeah.
Look, people come on it. People are Jet fans, okay? People have hope. That's all we have. We have hope. It's not life and death. But this guy comes on and he's got to twist the knife. He loves doing that. He loves to twist it and piss everybody off. That's his thing. Because the guy has no fucking personality. He's a piece of shit. And I'll tell you something, Alan. Stay off the friggin' channel because you are a piece of shit. That's how I feel. Hey, look, you know what? He pisses me. Hey, boy Green, you can laugh all you want. He pisses me off because people come on his channel to enjoy.
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know why he's a Jets fan.
All right, go ahead, Bob.
No, Carl, please continue. Yes, sorry.
Yeah. I'm getting crazed now. No, I listen to you every day. Yeah, we get some negative comments here and there. And that's fine in the comment section, but this guy comes on and he eggs everybody on. That's his thing. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't care about the Jets. He's not a Jet fan.
Yeah.
He's not a Jet fan.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know what you would call this guy, but I call him a piece of shit. So I'm just saying that when he comes on, I got to shut your channel off, man. I got to go look at something else for a while till he gets off.
Paul, when did this video start becoming a family video?
Hey, you know what?
Go ahead,
we're
Bob,
we're in the internet, so I allow it. And also, I respect passion. And passion can come from love or hate. So I love passion. So no, I laugh because there's there's a bluntness to Carl, which I appreciate.
I just wish that Alon would have some patience and some willingness to look at at the bigger picture. And you can pick apart any team, any management in any sport and say, hey, they screwed up here, or they didn't do this right, or they can't win because of that. It's, to quote the old Jets, coach, that's why you play the game.
Although we're getting a super chat in here from BNY for life. So let's immediately play that footage here on the show with a Zariah Luna. Wow.
Wow.
Devin wants you to get that bum, Carl. Well stated, Carl. He loves when you go after Alon.
I think if Alon was in a bar with a lot of really no Jet fans, he'd be carried out of the bar before very long. If he kept doing all the negative things, because it's really easy to say, "Oh, look at that guy, he dropped the ball. Look at that guy, he snapped the ball badly. Look at that guy, what a terrible defense." Play. Go ahead, Carl.
We're having some serious internet problems here, aren't we? Or is that me?
No, I'm sorry. It's just we're off, so we got to just make sure we don't interrupt you because I think that's what's causing issues. So, Carl, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's just kind of going on and off. Listen, I'll tell you something. This shit like this means a lot to me. My grandkids gave me this pillow in 2013. They made this for me out of a Jet shirt. I love the Jets. I like the Jets. They lose. They make me sad. They make me pissed off. They make me happy. But you know what? This isn't life and death. This is a hobby. This is something we do. And we just don't need somebody to come on and ruin it for us. He ruins it for everybody.
Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Have another person to bring on the screen.
Shit.
Alon,
please.
Carl, please continue.
Hey, Carl. I am realistic.
Alan.
I am real. Hey, Carl.
I don't know. Wait, Alan. Give me a chance.
I am realistic.
Fuck you. You shut up.
Fuck you.
You shut up. You're realistic. You're not a Jet fan. You are not a Jet fan. You are not a Jet fan. Why don't the Jets come and hire you? Fuck you. You piece of shit. You're not realistic. You just want to make everything negative. That's all you want, Alan. Why don't the Jets take advice from you? You're so fucking smart.
Optimism.
Why don't you shut up? Alan, shut up. Fuck you, Alan. Fuck you, Alan. I'll slap your fucking little bitchy fucking face, you little piece of shit.
Okay?
Oh, fuck you. Yeah, I'll slap your little fucking bitchy face, Alan. Fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you. You Pierre piece of shit.
Cruddy ass. Okay? You can put all your fingers
up
all you
fuck
want.
You. My old cruddy ass will beat your little fucking wimpy ass. Any fucking
ready?
Come on, you little fuck.
Let's go, you
come on, you little bitch.
You challenge me, bitch. Fuck you, you.
You little bitch.
Don't worry, no one gives a shit about
fuck you, Alan.
You are a fucking
old, let's see. Let's take a poll. Let's take a poll. Who wants me or who wants Alan?
This
Fuck
team
you.
is garbage. And
Fuck
I keep
you.
hearing
Like you, you're fucking garbage.
optimism. All I want to hear is realism. I can't stand people who still talk about real optimism. Optimism. There is none. There's none left. You fucking old shit.
Number 44. Woo! 44, that's me! Get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts, get some cold cuts. Woo! Give me some!
Well, was that a first ball?
Well, that was colorful. Right. Wow.
Passion.
Yeah, I did say I like passion. I did say that moments ago. So, yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to our next.
You gotta love passion.
Good Lord. All right.
As I sang to Alon, Will McDonald had a block. E-I-E-I-O.
Yeah. Let's go. Well, wow. This is wow. Okay. Well, there's a couple of.
Where do we go from there?
That's a wonderful question. Let's get to a couple of super chats that are coming through here.
Good for that. Good.
Yeah, there you go. Appreciate the support on the channel. Let's go. Here we go.
Wow.
Billy Noodle says we love Alon's takes. They give us realistic views. Your reaction to that, Bob?
I can go for that, except for the word realistic.
Yeah. That part may be one that is difficult to play with. Billy Noodle.
That's a difficult adjective.
Yeah, very difficult. But nonetheless, I appreciate it, Philly Noodles. Thank you for sending that along. You have another raffle.
Alon is becoming a bigger and bigger part of the show, and you know we have to allow him to speak to what he thinks, and that's fine. And you know, let him come and let him go, but let him participate. And
I'm an open show, and I try to appreciate that. Anyone who wants to call
you decided weeks and weeks ago you weren't going to allow him to be thrown off the show, even by the most lucrative offer.
That was quite lucrative. I'm going to be. I was tempted. I was tempted by the little demo on the shoulder. Ooh, money! I'm like, oh wow,
$1,000. You know, it's a pretty good deal. You know,
it was, but I didn't take it. I could have.
That's right.
I thought about it. I almost did, but I didn't. Another super chat coming through.
Wow.
Philly Noodles once again. It's exactly what Woody wants. The money dark overlord. LOL. Man, all the comments are going crazy here. Let's go back to a voice of reason here. We've got Philium back on the program. Philium, your thoughts?
Phil, what's the updated weather forecast?
We have a few days to find out. I just wanted to jump back in because I have always respected Alon's opinions. He's a smart guy. He knows football. He is not unrealistic in his thoughts most of the time. I do think that he can be unnecessarily negative, and I think he does that purposely. I think yes, abrasive. Yes, okay. That's the main reason I called in was, I got a little frustrated because he keeps using the word optimism. I stressed in my call, I'm not using optimism. I kept saying, I'm looking at hope. Okay. There is a difference. And I stressed that in my call, yet he immediately attacked me as being delusionally optimistic.
Yeah.
Okay. Now again, but that's Alan. I get it. Okay. I was encouraged to call back in. There's no point. Okay. There's no point in splitting those hairs and having that argument. Okay. I come on every now and then. I spew my opinion. There's people out there who want me to shut the hell up. The same thing when Alan or anybody else calls in, but we all have the right to do that. All you can do is disagree or agree. All right. And if you want to turn it off when the guy comes on, I get that too. I've hit mute once in a while, but I did actually, before things got out of hand there, I almost did want to call back in while Alan was on and just say, Alan, I stressed. I'm talking about hope, and I'm also talking about we have such a tunnel vision about the Jets, okay? There's 32 other teams out there, or 31, and there's a lot of them that after 4, 5, 6 weeks are going to be going, holy shit, what a mess, right? New coach, new everything, and I'm not giving anybody a pass, and he's right. The talent on this team was greatly overrated. He said from the get that was the case. He also stressed that the depth was a major problem. Okay, I always give Allen his props. He was right, but I also have said it's much easier, as you just said, Bob. It is much easier to pick stuff apart. All right. All I was trying to do with my call today was say, here's 5 other teams that are all in a similar boat that could very easily be limping along it with, 1-5, 2-6 kind of records. And a handful of them were supposed to be pretty good.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody, even you, Paul, believed that the Jets were a 12-win team this year. That's optimism. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Sure. Yeah.
And again, if you truly believe that, more power to you. That's fine. All I'm saying is we have a long way to go. And you can look at a lot of great coaches in the history that had some really rough beginnings. All right. All I'm talking about here is hope. And that even if they lose on Monday night, I keep talking about what the schedule is going down the road. A number of other teams that have problems that we're going to be facing. And I mean, I can remember teams that started, I think, like 1-4-1 and ended up winning 10 games. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here. I'm saying if they can just incrementally get better, get some guys back healthy, maybe they make a move or two. I don't know. Just get better. Just get better. And let's find out. And let's find out once and for all. And let's find out once and for all if Justin Fields is a viable quarterback. Those are the goals for me this year. Give me 7 or 8 wins, and we find out about Fields. That's a good first year.
There we go. Philium, thank you for calling back in.
Got to get over the hump and get that first victory, because the momentum that can build behind that can be a game changer.
All right, a lot of super chats coming through. Let's go to Taylor Sterling here.
Wow.
Thank you for being a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club for your happy anniversary. How do I explain this is why I'm late to drop off? Yes, it's a little hard to explain what just transpired there, but nonetheless, thank you, Taylor, for checking in. We have another super chat coming in. How about them, Jets?
Wow.
What a great start to my weekend. That was certainly unique. So how about them Jets? Appreciate you. You're $1 away from a raffle ticket. You can give that before Wednesday, October 1st, and you'll be in for a raffle. Another super chat coming in here from our number 1 Austrian Jet fan.
Wow.
Bob, what was your Jets record prediction for this year? Or perhaps an updated Mulligan version? Okay, so you predicted 6. If you had the opportunity to change
and I had a bet with somebody, I think with
DMY for life, the gentleman.
Yeah, about 9.
Yeah, I think that was a magic number. All right, okay. If I gave you a chance for a mulligan right now, like you predicted 6 before the season, but if I said right now we could wipe that away and you could give us a brand new one with all the information you have right now, what would be your updated record prediction? Would it change at all?
6.5.
Okay. See, I like it. There you go. Thank you, our number 1
I'm an optimist and I think a realist.
Okay, that's a good combo from what I hear. But hey, different strokes, different folks.
And you are a wishfulness.
I like wishfulness. That's good. Make a wish. I'm all about it. Wish, wish. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it in there. Speaking of getting it in there, let's go back to the phone lines here. Hey, Carl's back. What's up, Carl?
Hey, listen, I just want to apologize for that rant. But yeah, I didn't mean to get that wound up. But this is, I'm pretty passionate. Look, I'm pretty passionate about this team, okay? And I just don't like hearing that negativity, whether he believes it's reality, whatever. I don't care. I just want to watch the next game. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I want. And I just want to apologize to the other Jet fans out there for having to listen to that. Well, I don't like to get like that. I just don't.
People enjoyed it. They seem to rally around it. So, yeah. And Lily's birthday is today. And he said that was a great birthday gift this morning. He thanked you, Carl, for that. So there you go.
I just hope that Alon doesn't live his life that way with everything else.
Oh, I got a feeling that he does. I wouldn't want to be one of his kids. I'll tell you that right now.
It's a very dark way to live your life.
Yeah. So, just everybody enjoy the game. What happens, happens. We have no control over it. So just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. That's all I can say. And anyway, you guys have a good weekend. And again, I apologize for that rant.
No apologies necessary, Carl. And I appreciate you sharing a memory. I know Alon stomped all over that with his yelling, so we weren't able to get to that. But I appreciate the beautiful, memory that you shared here on the show. So,
there's so many ways to build viewership, and I think you found a new one today.
Well, Jerry, boy green. We got a little bit of that action happening. All right, back to the phone lines. A lot of people want to get involved, both after that and before that. Let's go into the next one up. It's Johnny Boy here on the show. Johnny.
BG, Bob, what's going on?
Hey,
Johnny, how are you?
Doing really well. Dropping off my kid in school, and then she opens the door, and all you hear is old-ish. And you can see
Did she learn some words she didn't already know, Johnny Boy?
So sorry, Johnny.
She knows that. No, it wasn't her. I was just talking about the other kids that were walking into class and the teachers that were there. Like, what are you listening to early this morning? It was awesome. So I was busting.
You gotta send it to one of those newfangled schools that don't allow cell phones in them.
Yeah. That was unbelievable. But
I have
shout out to Carl.
Playing through my my Bluetooth on my in my car. So it was it was great. But I want to talk a little bit about that. So the Carl conversation with Alan, right? At a Jets bar. I've been to plenty of Jets bars.
All right.
And there is half of people that are just like Alan because they've been battered for so long being a Jet fan. Other thing in regards to that, you can't tell a person how to fan. If he wants to fan that way, let him fan it. It's his opinion. He's entitled to it. Same thing with Carl and whatnot. We just want to win. And it's what it comes down to at the end of the day. We haven't won. Like for myself, the expectations this year, I wasn't expecting playoffs, right? I wanted to be very competitive in the games. Mm-hmm. I want a winning season, first and foremost. Give me a winning season, and that's something that you could continue to keep building off the next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Glenn, who literally told you, we are the New York Jets, and we are built for this ish.
Mm-hmm.
What is that telling you from jump? So, again, I like Alan. Alan's a good dude, man. Like, and the personal shots, like I feel bad for his kids and et cetera. I don't need to be saying those type of things, right? And again, I know he was heated and all that, but hey man, just let the cat do what he got to do. If you don't like it, just turn it off and then come back on. And I like Carl. I like when Carl comes on and he talks. I like the memorabilia that he has and he shows and things like that.
Pretty cool.
I'm not taking no sides or anything. But with Allen, when he says that Todd Bowles took essentially
basically said we don't care.
Yeah, right. They let off the gas, and that's the only reason the Jets came back, is basically what he's suggesting. Right.
I didn't see it that way because he was still blitzing into the fourth quarter. What I saw was Taylor adjusting to what was given to him, extending plays. I also saw Garrett Wilson going more into the slot and being able to go ahead and, use the slots in that game itself. Same thing with Mason Taylor. So he was using a lot of checkdowns. When he was being blitzed, he was getting that ball out a lot faster prior to what it was before itself. But at the same time, that Tampa Bay game for me is a very tough one to kind of talk about because them dudes had how many offensive linemen out? And were
three of their starting offensive linemen were out.
Yeah.
I think that performance, I blame more on the individual players because of a lot of over pursuing, bad angles. The tackling was very bad. The positions that they were put in were in good positions. They just didn't execute. The communication is still lacking in regards to that. I mean, you had a play, I forgot what play it was, but it was Quincy and Stevens guarding a guy in the flats Or you had the tight end, which was supposed to be Quincy's assignment. He just said, F it, I'm going to go to the flats. But so did Stevens at the same time. And they got a big third down in regards to that. So I don't know. They just got to keep cleaning stuff up. And I think that's what Glenn is essentially keeps on saying, right? Because he said it yesterday in the presser. We're getting better. We need to get better every single day. And it starts with up here first. So to me, that means the communication needs to be a lot better. I mean, at what point, and I wanted to ask this to you, Boy Green and Bob, right? Because I know that, especially BG, because I asked you this question before in regards to who has more pressure on them, Tanner or is it Wilkes? And I remember you saying that I think it was you picked on Tanner because we just haven't had an offense long. Has that changed for you? And same question goes to you, Bob, as well. And if it is Wilkes, at what point do you feel like Aaron Glenn says enough is enough? We're going to go ahead and we're going to play man instead of the zone that Wilkes likes to go ahead and play. So I say
good question. Thanks, Johnny.
I appreciate you guys.
Shout out to those teachers. Shout out to those teachers, baby. That was hilarious. I did say Tanner when you asked me that before, but to be honest, the more I sort of marinate on it, I think it's Steve Wilkes, and here's why. The defense has names. Now, Alon questions the talent level that we thought we saw before the season, but I don't. Sauce Gardner's the highest paid corner in football. Jamien Sherwood is a top 5 highest paid linebacker in football. Quinn Williams is a top 6 highest paid defensive tackle in football. And you just start going through, they had an all-pro or a former all-pro at every level of the defense. The pressure is on Wilkes to, hey, man, you've got a Ferrari sitting here. Let's see this baby go. And we have not seen the Ferrari operate in that manner with the talent that is on this team that Alon questions. And I would say it's on Wilkes to figure out how to I would say this. Whether if a 5-year-old is driving a Ferrari or a NASCAR driver is driving a Ferrari will give us different results. Just because you have a Ferrari of talent does not guarantee you're going to have Ferrari results. So I think that's the big thing. So I would have, if I had a mulligan to change my answer, I would give it to Steve Wilkes now in terms of pressure, because he has to find a way for this defense to work, and it just doesn't make sense. Now we're getting a lot of injuries piling up, but he's got to figure it out. Him and Aaron Glenn have to really start blending quicker, I think, Bob.
I agree with you. I couldn't have said it better, except I don't think the Jets have a lot of Ferraris, but they have a lot of talent. And unfortunately, new system. It's a broken record.
Of course.
Say the same thing every week. It's a new system. They've got to get accustomed to it. And they have to, for instance, we really haven't seen the impact of the run defense that we thought it would be vastly improved with the acquisitions we made. But one of these games, things are going to start to click. No doubt. And it won't be perfect. They'll still be vulnerable in some areas. But all of a sudden, you're going to see, and hopefully it'll be this week, you'll see, hey, they're starting to play a lot better. They're executing better. They're much more in tune with each other.
That's what we can hope for, Bob.
Yeah. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time, because these guys have talent, but they have to mesh.
They do. Let's go back to the phone lines. EZ is up next, who also I'm looking forward to meeting at the Jets Cowboys tailgate, which is going to be awesome. What's up, EZ?
This is turning into the Jake Asman show.
Yeah, I mean, that got intense there. Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
It's bad. I stopped watching the Jake Asman show because he has these poor guys. Some of these guys, this one guy lives with his mommy, and he just makes fun of this poor slob. And this poor slob's so stupid. He doesn't even realize that Jake's making fun of him. And then he's got this other idiot that comes on, the Beast. And it's just like, I can't watch the show anymore, because Jake likes to try to get people to like make idiots out of himself. He tried goading me into that crap one time, and I wasn't buying it. He was like, come on, Ed, say, like some kind of stupid play. And I was like, no, I'm not here for that. He likes to play with people a little bit too much. So I'm gonna encourage. I like Jake. I like Jake, but I don't like the fact that he's turning his show into fucking Jerry Springer.
Fair enough.
I'm going to
but
strongly,
anyway,
I'm going to strongly encourage Paul to reject the X rating that will be on the show beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, we
Let's
got to
talk
keep the
football,
show.
Ed.
I mean, we drop an F-bomb or we'll say shit every now and then, and that's because the show is kind of PG, maybe almost R. But that last rant with Elon with the, I mean, I thought I was watching Goodfellas or something. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy. No, fuck you.
There was a lot of that going on. Fuck me. Fuck you. No, I was just like,
that was funny. That was funny.
I mean, I'm watching it and I'm like, oh my God, this is the type of thing that like Jake would have been relishing. He would have loved it to have that on because he really like embraces that Jerry Springer kind of thing. But here's my take on what's going on with the Jets.
All right.
Okay. Here's my take. I do believe the coaching has improved, but I don't really think that our defensive coordinator is in sync with Aaron's defensive
philosophy.
What's the word? Style, philosophy. Exactly. Because we have not been blitzing, and we don't do run blitzes. When we know on first, we don't shoot the gaps on runs. With the there's not enough of that. There's not enough, and I've talked to you up and down last year about this. There's not enough unpredictability with this team. The Jets need to be unpredictable, and the Jets are the opposite of that. The Jets are one of the most predictable teams on offense and on defense. And I think that is to our detriment because, like you said, we have a bunch of Ferraris on this team, but we have not. But it's not like we have Mario Andretti and AJ Foyt driving them. We have, guys that really need to know how to operate this team and really gear it to the talents that we have. And that, I think, is lacking. I think that's why, I mean, first off, what is the story with how they coach Michael Clemens? Or is it just that he's so thick that he's not getting it? He's got physical talent. He's fast. He's strong. But he does not know how to play football. I mean, it's like he's just not a football player. He doesn't have the instincts. He doesn't he doesn't control his areas. He goes off. He doesn't maintain the edge. That's what I was meaning. He doesn't stay in his zone. I mean, obviously, when you're rushing the quarterback, you gotta rush. But he, like the other guy was saying, he doesn't have a swim move. He doesn't have a spin move. He doesn't have any moves. And he can bull rush, but when he bull rushes, the quarterback steps up and he doesn't swim around the guy to step back up into the pocket. He's just not well trained. And I don't know if it's the fact that they just can't get through to him or what at this point. I loved Michael Clemens when they drafted him. I thought that this was going to be like one of those enforcer attitude guys that was going to be able to play the run and help out on rushing. And he is not good at either. And quite frankly, at this point, I'd take someone on the practice squad who's hungry, who might be more coachable, who might be able to learn the system better. And this is not a slight against Michael Clemens as a person. It's the fact that he's not getting the results. And I think when people don't get the results, they need to be replaced with someone who you don't know what they can do yet.
That's a compelling argument, Easy, to potentially go to someone who may be lesser in name and production value, but to replace Michael Clemens with that guy, just,
That's not the only guy.
Right.
I think Michael Carter II is still hurt.
Yeah, he must be.
I think he's still hurt because he is not even close. He can't tackle, and he's a good tackler. And I think why don't they put Stiggers in there at slot?
Yeah, and this new guy, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., can play in the slot too, so he may
Right.
be a guy who's coming for MC2 eventually.
Jarvis Brownlee may have to replace 21.
He could, yeah, and the boundary, so that's possible. They will have some optionality there, yeah.
But if Michael Carter is having that much trouble, then maybe they just need to sit him.
Yeah,
and not
get,
as punishment sit him. Just really get to him and say, look, Mike, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if it's downstairs or upstairs.
Right.
But somewhere between your head and your body, in that neck region, something's not clicking. The brain is not telling the body what to do, or the body wants to do it and can't.
You're failing.
But there's something seriously wrong. I mean, we've watched 3 games now, and he's not even close to being what he was, because he was one of the best. He was the best slot corner in the league, and he's not even. He's not even good right now, and I just think he's hurt.
I think you could be right, Easy. He could be hurt. That could be part of the problem. Good call. Good call. Appreciate it. And again, looking forward to seeing you for the Jets-Cowboys game. We got a lot of people that want to.
Green. I'll say real quickly. I think that Green is trying to give him the best opportunity that he can. He's obviously impressed with his physical skills, and his speed and everything else. And he's probably going to play him 3, 4, 5 games. And if the same things, haven't changed, then he's just going to have to go with somebody who he doesn't have as positive a thought about, but throw him in there and just try to get some productivity out of him. That's all you can do.
Yeah, some good thoughts from Easy. We got a lot of people that want to call into the show. Yes, and
where is Indy?
Yeah, where is Indy? You ask for him, and you get him. Here is Indy Jets,
and he's not even naked.
What? Yeah,
I tried.
Close on.
Yeah,
yes.
I've been trying to get on here since the rant.
Yeah.
And I just want to say this.
All right.
BG, you remember this show? And I don't remember if it was Father's Day, Memorial Day. It was one of your 3-hour shows, and we literally talked nothing about Jets. You remember that?
That was the Brett Michaels show. It was a Father's Day celebration.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's over the summer. Yep.
This is a big family.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to sit here and say this, and people may not like it. I don't care. Carl, you were wrong. All right. And it's not, you don't need to apologize to the rant about the rant. Where you were wrong at is, calling other fans, whether we agree with or disagree with Alan. When you make a personal attack against one of us as calling him a piece of shit and all this stuff, Alan, I may not even agree with Alan, but this is that overstepped the boundaries. I mean, Pops, he calls you moron sometimes, BG, and we all know that's just a father-son thing. That's just
probably.
And in all reality, he knows you're not a moron, but he likes to,
I don't know about that.
I mean, maybe he does think, all right, sometimes I get it, but I think that overstepped the boundaries of what BG's built. Okay, this is a family, and we can all sit here and disagree with each other. This is the Jets. This is a team that no matter what our opinions are, does not affect anything. So to make these kind of personal attacks, okay, we can say you're wrong, but let's not make it personal. I would have probably done the same thing that Alan did. You come after me, I'll come back after you. If you just say I'm wrong, okay, we can talk facts, we can talk opinions. That's great, but don't make it personal. Let's just not make it personal.
Well,
now, and I'm not trying to defend Alan at all, because him and I go, we have a quite the history of disagreeing.
Right. Yes, a long history.
And I would be the first to sit next to him at a Jets bar and have a drink with Alan, whatever, and watch a Jets game. Just because we disagree does not mean we can't be cordial to each other. We can't be friends. I mean, we can be friends and still disagree. So
Alon can talk. Alon can talk the way that he talks if he was sitting next to me, and frankly, I would take half of what he says and not take it very seriously. I would just listen to what he has.
I'll give you the example, Bob. He said Miami's going to win 35-28 or something along those lines.
Sure, right, yeah.
Okay, and here's where I can disagree with Alan, because if you look at Miami's 0-3 record and look at the Jets' 0-3 record. Okay, let's talk factual stuff here. Let's not go up based off opinions.
Yeah.
Indiana, the Colts are probably the worst 3-0 team.
Oh, that's not nice.
I don't know. I've first of all,
what's the 3-0 team? Hold on. What's the record of the 3-0 team of the teams that they've beat?
All right, let me take a gander here.
The Titans are terrible. Denver
the Titans. So it's 1-8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the Titans are 0-3, the Dolphins are 0-3, and the Denver's 1-2.
Right. So you're talking about 1-8. The Jets are probably the best 0-3 team. The opponents that we've faced are 8-1.
Do we get any awards for that?
No, you don't get any awards for it. But when you look at what Miami's done, Miami got smoked by Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And I don't think Indiana, and everybody is really shocked that the Colts are 3-0.
Indiana Jones, baby.
Right. And I think that will come. That reality will come back down, and the real Colts team will probably come out.
Yeah. Okay.
But so the Dolphins just aren't that good either.
Okay.
Talent level wise, when you want to compare every position, even including the coaching, I would take Aaron Glenn over anybody on that coaching staff in Miami.
Okay.
And so when you look at it, we have a better running. I think our running backs are better. Our offensive line's better. Our defense is better. We may lose in the wide receiver area.
Overall wide receivers, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But other than that, there's nothing that stands out against Miami that says Miami is that much better everywhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so even in reality, the Jets have a pretty good shot at winning this game. A far better shot than we. So Alan and I may disagree, but come on, we've got to keep this.
Keep it above board.
Right. Yeah, and I agree.
The thing about what Alon does is Alon takes things to the extreme. Okay, the Jets are vulnerable doing this, and Alon's attitude is they suck, and any team playing against them will kill them because of that. Football is not that simple. It's just not. No team, if it were, teams would win 75-0 every week.
I believe it was Dennis Green, though, years and years ago that said, "You are what your record says you are."
Bill Parcells. Dennis Green was they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Yeah. Okay, I knew there was I knew Denny Green had a rant, but in all reality, you are what your record says you are. You can say that the Colts are great because they are 3-0, and right now the Jets team is not very good.
No.
Because we're 0-3, and so the reality of that's how Alan looks at it. If the Jets are 3-0 like the Colts, he's not talking like this. Okay.
True.
I have a feeling he would still point out things that he thinks are incredibly bad.
Well,
that's the whole thing about talking with him about, and that's why I keep saying, "Why are you a Jet fan?" Because come on, you've got to give them credit for things that they do well. And you can concede that they could be better here and they could be better there. But that's true of every team, even a Super Bowl team. I was just looking up during the course of our conversations today. The 85 Bears, who I think had the greatest defense that I've ever seen. They gave up 28.
I would agree with that. Absolutely.
They gave up 28 points in their first game of the season against Tampa. They never had a game like that again. Until the end of the year, Miami beat them and ran some points on them, but they basically were devouring teams defensively every week. So, there's no team that's impregnable. every team has vulnerabilities. It's just whether you have the ability on your side to take advantage of the vulnerability that the other team has.
And again, though, even Baker Mayfield, talked about the things that they did wrong in that game, and they're 3-0.
Yeah,
they did far more good things than they did bad. Until we switch it around to where we're doing less bad things and more good things and start seeing success. I understand where Allen comes from, and some of Allen he just likes to be able to be the villain. So you've got that going for him, but he's also a realist, and it is what it is, And until and some of us older fans, Bob, we've been around for a long time. We've seen some really bad Jets teams.
Yeah.
Until they give us something. You know what? We're going to believe what they are. We're going to believe that this is a 0-3 team. BG, you had them at 12 wins.
Yeah.
Allen's got them at and you've got them at 6. We're probably somewhere in the middle. Which one's the reality? I don't know. But until the Jets start showing us something, you know what? We're going to continue to criticize what the team does. And we just hope. We live off of hope that. Some coach, some GM will get this franchise turned around. And we've all lived through the Patriots era where they were just dominant for 20 years.
Right.
We've got the Chiefs have been dominant for several years. Even the Bills have been dominant for the last 5 or 6 years in our division. Right. And we sit here and go, when is it our turn? When is it our turn?
It starts Monday night, baby. Monday Night Football.
And so there's a lot of hope.
But look, just think about the Jets coaching staff. They're looking at every single thing within their offense and within their defense every week to try to optimize the strengths and to try to improve the areas where they're vulnerable. And it's not an easy task, but there are things that you can do. Sometimes you can mask your shortcomings, and other times you just hope the other team just doesn't play up to their ability. And,
let's get to a couple more callers. One of your favorites, Bill, here on the show. Bill?
Hey, Bill.
Gentlemen.
Wow, what a show.
EG, I wish you would have stopped that fight sooner.
Yeah, that's what someone else said. They said the ref should have stepped in. If you ever watch one of those UFC fights, you're like, the ref probably should have, should have gotten in there on the stoppage a little bit earlier as the pounding, the tenderizing of the meat was happening there. Upon further review, that's probably true. I probably should have stepped in there earlier. I thought there'd be some playful, you, and then it got intense really quick. I'm like, whoa. So I guess that's it. Like you sort of bring two dogs on a nice little dog date. You're like, oh, this is nice.
So, Bill, are you a betting man?
Say again. I'm sorry.
Are you a betting man?
A betting man? Generally not.
Okay. Well, I'm not either. But gentlemen's bet. Do you think it's more likely the Mets get into the playoffs or the Jets win Monday night, or maybe both?
Good question. I do believe the Mets will find a way to get into the playoffs. And unfortunately, I hope the Jets can win on Monday. There's no guarantee that they can until they prove otherwise. They have to show it on the field. One thing that I definitely get upset about is when some people question Garrett Wilson being number one receiver.
Yeah.
Given all the quarterback dysfunction that we've had, for him to put together, three consecutive 1,000-yard receiving years. Imagine if he had a solid quarterback who played all 17 games. What he would be capable of. Not to mention the other receivers around him. All these other catches are tight ends and etc. So I like to see that stop. GW is definitely a number one receiver.
For sure.
Secondly, as a Jet fan myself, I always have hope, but part of it is being optimistic. After all, if you believe that the Jets can never win, whether it's this year, you doubt next year, you doubt the year after that, then what's the point of even watching the team?
It's a good question.
All of us are optimistic, and I truly believe that Allen is, but unfortunately, his opinions are formed from what he's been seeing the last decade or so.
He's been smacked around. He's been beaten up a lot. The Jets have done that to a lot of Jets.
Jets and the fan base too. I mean, we live and die with our team, and we love our team, and unfortunately, they haven't performed to expectations. And the real question too is that even if AG gets this turned around, my question is, well, for how long? Because I really feel that one of the big problems that we've had is not so much the coaching, but the overall organization, the scouting, being able to develop players, whether they come through our draft or they're unsigned free agents, or even if we picked up somebody else's unsigned free agent or what have you, that we should be able to develop these guys to fit into the systems that our coaches are running.
Well, I'll say this, Bill. I'll say this. You say, if he's able to turn it around, like how long? Well, give me the turnaround, and then we can worry about those first world problems later about how long that turnaround's going to last. I would just like the turnaround part, and then we'll figure it out.
But,
although, to your point, right, 2015, a decade ago, the Jets had a winning season. They should have, could have, would have made the playoffs with 10 wins. They did not, but that was fleeting. That's the only winning season we've had in 14 years.
And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but besides the Rex Ryan years where we went to the playoffs back-to-back years, wouldn't we have to go all the way back to the Namath era, the last time the Jets put together back-to-back playoff years?
Yes. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Let me. I'll have it up here in a second.
It's that for me. I don't think under Parcells.
I don't think the only other the Parcells era.
Let's see. No, so 2001, 2002, the Jets went back-to-back playoff years. They won the division in 2002, and they went to they were a wild card team in 2001.
During the Walt Michaels era, did they?
100%. They went back-to-back in 85, 86. That's another time. They also went back-to-back in 81, 82. So that was Walt Michaels as well. So yeah, there's been a handful of circumstances. Now it hasn't been a lot in history, but it's happened a handful of times. Sure.
Famous story, which is in my book. After the Jets won the Super Bowl, the Mets had a sauna at Shea Stadium, and the Jet players liked to use it when they could. And one day they walked into the sauna, and Seaver Kuzman and Gentry was sitting there, and I think it was Paul Rochester of the Jets who looked at the three pitchers and said, if we could win the Super Bowl, you can win the World Series.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So, Bill, we just got to hope for a turnaround, and hopefully it comes up, my friend. We can only hope. I appreciate the call, Bill.
Yep.
Let's finish off with a few more callers. First off, birthday boy for Lily. Happy birthday, pal.
Thank you. It was actually technically yesterday, but I'm celebrating all weekend. Okay.
You don't look any older. You don't look any older than you were yesterday.
I appreciate that, Bob. I as I get older, my body's starting to feel older.
But that Yankee cap, I don't know. I'm not
Bob,
too hot about
Bob.
cap.
Okay, so the story behind everything, Bob, is that I'm 61, so I don't really remember the Super Bowl. But my brother's 8 years older than me, and he loved Joe Namath, so that's why he was a Jet fan. And I actually got to get your book and get you to. I want to get it for my brother.
Now there's an idea.
I need you to sign, and I need you to sign it for him. So I'll follow up.
I'll tell you what. When you do that, communicate with me either through my email rflbob@gmail.com. Get me your address and all. Have the book sent directly to me, so that I can sign it and just tell me where to forward it to.
I'll have to. His birthday.
And you know what's interesting to me about this weekend, on top of everything else, is the American League record for home runs in a season could fall this weekend.
It could. You're very right.
And I'm old enough to remember. I remember watching Roger Maris hit number 61, sitting in my uncle's apartment up in 165th Street and Broadway, and even at that age, and I was 9. I could see how exciting a moment it was, even though only 23,000 people were sitting in the ballpark. But what's the record? Is it 61? Is that
60,
what?
no, it's 62 by Aaron
62.
Judge
It's
now.
62.
Yeah, Aaron Judge has it.
Raleigh could break that this weekend.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I don't know. I think they clinched if I'm not mistaken, they clinched the division. Seattle, and they also clinched
because they
second
did a
seed.
good job against Houston. Yeah.
Yeah, they may or may not play him as much, but I think they're going to try. I think they want him to break it, so they probably will play him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's even as a DH or something. But
yep.
Yeah, I've been watching baseball all week. It's been great, man. This last week of baseball has been phenomenal with what's going on with both the Yankees, the
football,
Mets, the Reds.
what do you think about Monday night?
So I have a good friend of mine who's a huge Miami Dolphin fan.
Sorry to hear that.
I grew up in them, and so I said this is going to be one of those typical Miami Jet games, and I could see it being like the Jets are up 28-7 at halftime. Tua gets hurt. Zach Wilson comes in. Ashton Davis has a pick six, and then Wilson goes down the field and takes them takes the Miami to a win.
Jesus, that's dark, man.
How many times do you see the starting quarterback get hurt and the reserve, who the defense had no planning ahead of time to deal with, and the second quarterback is a scrambler, or he's a completely opposite of what the starting quarterback is, and the defense is completely befuddled as to how do they stop this guy.
That's exactly right.
This is just around the horn, and I wish I had points to go burr, 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 and turn down the points. Not on you for Lily, but for you, Bob, for asking him, hey, what do you think of Monday night? Oh, actually, what about a Zach Wilson Ashton Davis party? So you've lost.
I know, frankly, I would love. I'm sorry to say it this way. I would love for Tua to not survive the game and for Zach have to come in.
Oh, God.
Although
I don't want to see
Aaron
that.
Glenn doesn't have the history with Zach, so he doesn't really have any feeling. But
we do.
It would make it a surely interesting game.
Without a doubt. So I have a question for both of you. We're talking about there's Ferraris on this team, and why can't we turn this thing around?
Yeah.
I don't. When you say there's Ferraris on this team, can you name a couple of them? I mean, I got Garrett Wilson, but he's got a Pinto throwing to him, so it's not.
Well,
he's got a Pinto on the other side.
So right off the bat, I agree with Bob. The first name he mentioned, the first one I mentioned is Quentin Williams, who's been playing spectacular this year. He looks great. And thankfully, we've given him a Robin to his Batman. Harrison Phillips has been a nice find next to him. I hope they bring him back next year, too, and keep him on his contract. So that Ferrari, I've loved. Now, the other two Ferraris I'm going to mention, might need to go drop in the shop and get some things looked at. I'm not sure if the Ferrari's running at peak velocity here. That'd be would have been Quincy, but obviously Quincy's hurt. So I guess the other version of that is Jamien, and he has played poorly. So the Jets need to diagnose what the hell's wrong, because it's not like you just lost his talent. All these people that I spoke with, ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler and others, on the record, off the record, were all like, boy, I hope the Jets let Jamien Sherwood to the open market, because can't wait to steal him from the Jets, and the Jets keep him. And I'm like, ooh, that was a surprise. Wasn't sure if they're going to be able to keep him. So like Jamien, that's a Ferrari that's not been unlocked, whether Jamien's fault or the team's fault. And then Sauce Gardner, we made him the highest paid corner in football. He was getting slapped around by Mike Evans. That was incredibly deflating. And I know Mike Evans is good, and I know he's going to the Hall of Fame one day. But just to get tossed around that it's not at least 50-50, Sauce wins some, Mike Evans wins some, that was deflating, because that's what we paid Sauce to be able to do. And to get that was incredibly disconcerting, even against a talented guy like Mike Evans. So those are a couple. The one that I feel really good about is Quentin, because he's played awesome. But some of the other ones, not as much.
And that's where I was going. I mean, when I think of Ferrari, I think of the top of the line. Nothing better.
No, how many times do you see? How many times do you see a guy jump over a car, block a?
That's unbelievable.
Oh, that was incredible.
Hopefully we find this out today, boys. Is that again the schedule's off? Normally Thursdays is when the Jets media gets to speak to the coordinators. In this case, Monday Night Football Friday's the day. Chris Banjo, the Jets special teams coordinator, is going to be open to the media. Will McDonald leaped over the center and blocked the kick, but on the game winning, he rushed off the edge, which again. He was close several times off the edge, so impressive. But If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If the front jump worked, why not go back to the front jump? You block that kick, Jets win the game against the Bucs. So we're probably having a very different tone this week. So I'm curious to hear. Rich Cimini said he's going to ask on his podcast this week. He'll ask Chris Banjo today. I'm curious to hear the answer. Why didn't they go back to what worked? So that's the answer I want to know.
And to your point, BJ, it didn't look like they changed their offensive line the way they were. It looked like the
Blocking
same
or
to
anything.
me.
Yeah,
blocking,
100%.
it looked the same. So
yeah,
I didn't understand that either.
I would not at all be surprised if he does that again on Monday night, either with a punt or a field goal.
Do that every week? I mean,
I don't think you do it every week, but I think against, in certain situations, he can do it.
But how can they defend it? Like, the offensive linemen have to stay down; they can't stand up. So, like, how do you defend what Will McDonald brings to the table if he has just this?
Are you allowed to put
jump
somebody behind? BJ, are you allowed to put somebody behind the center?
Like
not?
A punt protector sort of thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
that's a good question. I'm going to have to go back to formation rules to see if
last week, and again, my son is a Colts fan, and I was listening to the end of the Colts game, and the Colts tried a 60-yard field goal to try to win the game, and they missed it. But
wait. Are you sure it's a Colts game? They blew out the Titans over the weekend, so they.
They were maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying, but anyway, penalty because they had hit the center.
Right, you're not allowed to touch him.
And
right,
you're not allowed to touch him. So if McDonald jumps over the center and even grazes him,
correct, that's an automatic penalty.
There might be a penalty flag thrown. So that's going to make it, very difficult to do it again in exactly the same way. In fact, I would tell the center, if you see him coming, just stand up a little bit and just have him scrape you, and it's going to be nullified.
Well, I love even the threat of it. So to your point, also Will McDonald starts getting in long snappers' heads, and they're thinking it. They could skyrocket the ball.
They're going to have to.
They could be turnovers.
Yes, they have to prepare for it. There's no doubt about it.
Which makes me feel better. So we'll see. For Lily, happy belated birthday, and appreciate you jumping on, man.
Thanks, guys.
Keep up the youthful look.
There we go. We got one last caller in this historic show. We're nearing 2.5 hours here.
Let's do it.
Senior. Oh, he may be asleep.
Gentlemen. There he is.
Oh, there he is. He's risen like
What's
the
up,
Undertaker.
Bob?
What's up, Neil?
Hope you had a good nap.
I missed the banter back and forth.
Oh yeah, you'll have to rewind that one. That was quite a battle.
I'll have to rewind it.
Yes,
Alan.
you will.
Alan is a character, and I respect. Alan is a villain, and every show needs a villain. We need a villain. And when we eventually win, when that time comes, it's going to be very sweet to track Alan down. I hope he's going to be accessible when we finally become winners. I don't know when that will be.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I have the same nightmare for Phil Lilly as I did. I have that same nightmare of Zach coming in.
Zach attack. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that. I saw it with Baker Mayfield in person when he came in and gave us a beat.
Yeah.
It just happens to us so much. It's very jet-like. One thing, this is a game that we're going to have to win. Bottom line, we're going to have to win this game, and we're going to see what we're like, because this is a divisional game, and they better be prepared to win a divisional game. We didn't do shit against Buffalo, and these are divisional opponents. These are teams we're going to see twice a year.
Yep.
And Miami, we had their number last year. Rodgers gave them a beat in the last game of the year. But we have to, see if Wilkes could, put a cap on that high flying circus they have there, and be able to put some pressure on Tua, because as we know, you pressure him off the middle, you get him off his spot. It's a problem. However, he's going to release the ball quickly, and he's going to hit HN for short gains, and he's going to hit this guy, and he's going to hit Waddle, and we have to be ready for that.
Yeah.
And if we play defense like we did the last 3 weeks, they'll probably put a 50 burger on us. But that's, because it is, look, Miami has a good offense. I don't care what anybody says. Their offense is as good as any of the 3 teams we face.
And they can hit you real fast, which
create
real problems, because the Jets in responding are not going to throw 50-yard touchdown passes. They're going to methodically move down the field, because that's really Fields' game.
Well, the one thing, Fields, I would love to see a deep shot at least once a quarter, Bob, to the new kid,
Yeah.
Even if it's an interference call, if it's a jump ball, if it's anything, I mean, it's not like he can't throw the ball that far. Just to keep the defense honest, that's
You're
a
right.
disappointment
You're
to
right.
me that we have not seen any deep balls go,
Nope.
which doesn't give any fear to the defense to crawl up to the line of scrimmage. Secondly, with McDonald, I have a better idea for Banjo.
Okay.
You got to put him behind the line of scrimmage and let him go left and right and
Ooh,
left and
interesting.
right and kind of put his hands up and give an unpredictability of who he's going to jump over to try to get to the kicker.
Fascinating.
So
Okay.
that would be a really nice, put a little fear in there, maybe create a false start, push a guy back 5 yards. And he does have that leaping ability. He did jump over a car. So he could really leap, and you can't leap over center, obviously. That's a penalty. So he has to do it to either the guards or the tackles. The thing I'm a little disappointed with, and, Alan likes to talk about him being right, but I really, before we took Fields, I was all over Danny Dimes on a lot of shows, and I got laughed at. I said, this is a guy that has a playoff win under his belt. He moves around. He could throw the ball, and we just discarded that. The other thing I want to tell you is I've also, one of my favorite players, although he's shunned the Jets a couple of times, is Calais Campbell. And Calais Campbell, all right, I watched the game last night. He had a sack. He's on the sidelines talking to the young kids. One problem we have, Bob and Paul, is we don't have a leader, a guy like a Mosley on defense that could kind of like go up and down and talk to these guys. I saw Calais Campbell on the sideline yelling at guys, getting them pumped up because they lost they lost a guy from the Cowboys early in the game. And he kept these guys motivated. He has 3 sacks already this year. His stats are better than any Jet defensive lineman. And he signed with the Cardinals for $5 million. And that was a guy we could have really been nice next to Quentin. And he's a wrecker at 39 years old. The guy is just ageless. So there's a guy, and then Keenan Allen's another guy that we could have gotten. That could have been a nice second receiver. But I don't. When I'm right and I like guys, I don't dwell on it. It's just it is what it is.
All right.
I'm sure Bob and Paul and me, we could probably be better offensive. Better guys to draft people and better guys to pick free agency than most of the guys that we've had on our staffs the last 20 years. So that goes without saying.
The thing about Indiana Jones is that it's probably questionable whether he'd want to go back to the New York market.
That was my thought when people brought it up in the offseason. Okay. And I don't know if it's true. I made it up. It's just my opinion.
But money is a great motivator.
And he got 2. He got the money, and he got to be away from the New York market, and he got to a place that believes in him.
Indianapolis is a good place to be because you're just not going to be hounded by the reporters.
Definitely
the way you
not.
are in the big city.
Definitely not.
Yeah, but we're gonna have a game Monday, and we're going to have a better look. This defense can't be as bad. I mean, if you look at the baseball card, it's not nearly as bad. It's not.
Can't be this 30th? Bad.
What are we, 30th in the league right now? I mean,
0 takeaways. 0. It can't be this bad. It can't be this bad.
Takeaways is just another heart-wrenching thing, and it's bad. But and the blitzes are ill-timed. That one blitz that really confused me is if you're going to do an all-out blitz, why did the left corner on that blitz also run in instead of covering the?
That doesn't make any sense.
You know what I mean? You don't do a complete, 10-man blitz and leave a guy wide open.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
Because the guy on the outside is not going to get to the quarterback anyway. If you're going to get to the quarterback, it's going to be up the middle. It doesn't have time to get to the quarterback. Stupid stuff like that kind of irritates me. But we'll see what happens on Sunday. Allen, is Allen. And hopefully we come away with a Monday victory because God knows we need one, guys.
That's it. Neil, appreciate you, man. Let's pray for a victory. Bob, this is one of our longest shows of all time at 2.5 hours. Seems like a good time to call her over. Wow.
And probably one of the most eventful shows, too.
That is safe to say. So thank you to
everybody out there, read that article that I brought up. especially you, Indy, because I think that you will really appreciate the insights in that article.
And my final words are this. I will channel my Julie Chen Moonves, the host of Big Brother. Love one another is how she ends every broadcast, and I will do the same. Love one another. Folks, if you're watching live or after the fact, like the video, hit subscribe, spread the gospel of all things Boy Green Daily. Appreciate you. And I will be back on in, 30 minutes because we're talking fantasy football. So I will see you guys after a mini hiatus. Bob, as always, enjoy our chats. And hey, we'll see you next week or perhaps on
Will McDonald had a block, EIEIO.
Let's get another one. Thanks, everybody.